Hello and welcome to the stream. Alright, let's get started. Okay. Where did we leave off? I used the walkie-talkie, right? Notice you haven't changed position. Over. Yeah, I wanted to write in my diary before I go. Just in case, I guess. Grim, but admirable. Well-maintained war journal, hallmark of espionage game. Proud of you, sis. Over and out. Guess I'm writing in the journal, huh? Okay. First, let's rub this key on everything in the room. Both keys. Really compare keys. You had a lot of complex and complicated feelings about this poster. Aspirations, admirations, aesthetic appreciations. Wanting to write all those down is why you got a diary, actually. But when you sat down to do it, you were kind of embarrassed by your flower ideas. Maybe one day. Two of your most treasured possessions. Like the ballerina, your heirloom, though still, seems destined to turn. You're not sure where you got that idea from. You always get like this when you look at your ballet poster for a while. Your mom. Would she be okay with this poster being up in your room? Why not? She danced with lots of ladies. Oh no, your hot steppin' thoughts go. Oh no, your hot steppin' thoughts go in the other diary. The one you will never mention again outside of this particular thought. I'm very glad I didn't use the key yet. This kid could care less about your diary. He's too busy reading. The story keeps happening. Wait, was that the name of the movie? Was the name of the movie also the name of the actual book the kid was reading? You can't remember right now. Actually, yeah. Your heirloom kind of reminds you of that weird snaky amulet thing from this movie. It's way older than the movie, though. By at least several years, as you can personally verify. Ooh. One campfire spookum was about a haunted diary. When you wrote in it, it would write back. And it turned out that, well, you guess you already mentioned that it was haunted. So, yeah, a ghost. Your mom's heirloom. No, it wouldn't make a very good spookum. It's not scary, it's just very pretty, and holding it makes you feel very happy and very sad at the same time. Acorn is always finding mysterious treasures, but unlike you, she usually finds out what they are within 22 minutes. You've been waiting for years. How can you keep a secret from... How can you keep a secret safe from your own shadow? This question is explored over 17 seasons of Acorn's Shadow and is usually the source of conflict in any given episode. Sheikah keeps a secret magical diary of all the dangers that the creatures of the forest face, which, now that you think about it, strikes you as a little counterintuitive? Maybe she's just trying to stay in business. Snakes, and the poisons they deliver via their fangs, are a big problem on magical animal companion heal rescue. But the ones on your heirloom have always seemed friendly, familiar. Kind of like they know secrets they're excited for you to soon find out. Wait, Where did that come from? Pretty! Sweet key, this. Connect 4 would make a lousy diary. One wrong move and bam! Your secret ideas go tumbling all over the place. Your precious, treasured heirloom belonged to your mom originally. You got it from her jewelry box, the one in the hallway. She wasn't around to give it to you in person, so you just, you know, you took it. But that's what she would have wanted, of course. You're very, very sure of it. You should write more about how you feel about your mom, and your mom being gone, and all that stuff, but it's not easy. Your mom was a great dancer. Tap, swing, ballroom, bolero, even wild experimental stuff like contact improvisation. Ballet was her passion, though, and she was transcendent. Tap dancing actually freaks your dog out pretty badly. You suppose it's the ribald, firework-like percussion of your toes and heels clacking against the hardwood floor that does it. In fact, you don't even really have to suppose. You're pretty much certain. Your secrets are safe with you. This picture was taken before you found your treasured heirloom. You think. Sometimes it can be hard to remember the exact sequence of things like that. It's weird being 14. Over a third of your life is, at very best, a blurry fog in your memory. Throw in the time you spent asleep and, well, you've really only got about 6 years of accessible conscious memory. Weird. You couldn't tap dance your diary open. Although, if you wanted, you might be able to tap dance it off the desk. If you wanted to. You don't want to, though. You're going to go ahead and... You're going to go ahead and head that line of reasoning off at the pass. That's not the way to open your diary. It was just an idle thought. You need your diary key to open your diary. Period. What if I use this key? Doesn't fit. It was worth a shot, you guess. Not really. Okay, time to check everything else in the room. The bounty hunter is from the distant future. She has no need for petty relics of your family history. Or maybe she's from the distant past in a part of space where the technology is comparatively futuristic. That would be pretty wild. Point stands about your key, though. I can't really picture the bounty hunter keeping a diary. A war journal, maybe. Ugh. Jude's rubbing off on you. Your mom and Ginger actually knew each other. They were of different generations, of course, but super classy entertainers like them can't help but run into each other all the time. And not literally, of course. They both would have been way too graceful for that. You've read Ginger's memoir, Ginger, My Story, a couple of times. It's great. She's really funny, and wow, women sure had to put up with a lot of crap, huh? You're glad it's the 90s now. So that kind of thing should be over pretty soon. A brightly colored, L-shaped object. No, it couldn't be. It's not. You're just goofing around. Block Hustle has no secrets that they are willing to share with you. They keep their own counsel. Your diary provides no insight into why you hung up this poster. You've reread it many times, searching for just that information. The contrast between your most treasured possession and your least treasured possession is pretty striking, by which you mean playing a Bubsy game is like being struck. You bet the hero of Second Mom has some kind of cool heirloom too, like a yo-yo from some crazy mineral, carved from some crazy mineral, or something. Awesome. You're not a big minerals person, but that's awesome. Lots of games have you save by writing in a diary, but in Second Mom, you apparently save by calling your dad. What a whimsical idea. Imagine a father Imagine a father whose phone number you know, and who picks up when you call. Alright, I should be tap dancing on each of these. That's obviously the wrong school of dance for this poster. You'd need to put on your suitable shoes for this, by which you mean to dance in front of a poster. Ah, yes, I'll save that to dance through the whole room. That'll make this a little less monotonous. I'm so smart. TV. Your precious heirloom from your beloved Oh. Okay, first of all. Clink. Clink! It clinks right off the surface. This key was made to unlock your diary, not your TV. Your TV is not something that needs to be unlocked. You think you've got this concept down, but just in case, you're willing to repeat it to yourself should you forget, and try to use the diary key on your TV again. Alright, I'm gonna try and read this in one, but it's probably gonna take more than one. Let's go. Your precious heirloom from your beloved mother clinks roughly against the screen. You clink it a few more times. Again. Again! You don't know what's come over you. You stop. Hold on. The TV is a fenestrated plane. And a fenestrated plane attracts the key like a magnet. Huh. Gonna have to think about that one for a while. That's an interesting one. Okay, let's move on. You jab your diary key at the console, whimsically hoping this combo might save the game of your very life. It doesn't. It just scratches the plastic a bit. This heirloom thingamajig has sometimes made you feel like, well, like you might be someone special? Like you might have an adventure someday. Or something, or like someone cool from one of your games? It's just got this feeling to it, you know? You guess all kids probably feel this way sometimes, and maybe there's nothing too special about you. But then again, monsters? Okay, so maybe there will be something special about your death. You think back to when you were little, and you used to stick the end of the controller cord in your pocket and pretend you were controlling yourself. Courageous Joey, off on an exciting adventure, saving monsters, fighting monsters, solving puzzles. You don't need the controller anymore, but you wouldn't mind having a little of that old courage back. You dare! You dare to call upon the raw and ancient magics of the game, genie. Have you lost your mind? Okay, enough fooling around. You don't actually have one of those whimsically named cheat devices. But sometimes you like to pretend you do, and that it's actually a big, scary genie who's all mad about his circumstances. I apologize if that was loud. It was definitely loud. I apologize. You know that windows aren't locked with actual keys, generally. They just have a little mechanism on top that prevents someone from pushing them open from the outside. But you jab the key at the window anyway, because you play by your own rules. Your precious heirloom? That your precious mother left your precious... that your precious mother left her precious daughter? Parentheses you? Just throw that out the precious window? And no way! The precious. Your mother left you this beautiful key, and you've always treasured it. Similarly, sort of, your pa left a bunch of 20-year-old beanbag chairs in the attic, and your babysitter distributed them throughout the house. For fun. It was fun, but it's not all that similar to the priceless, beautiful heirloom, really. Let's see. It's kind of a miracle that this thing hasn't split open already like Jude's did. You don't think shoving a key into it is a very polite way to say thanks? Sir Passwater keeps his own counsel. His secrets are his own affair, and he cares little for yours. He can be kind of a snide, little puffed-up popinjay when you get right down to it. It's very soft. Some people hide secret keys in the toes of their shoes. Shoes they're not actually wearing, generally. You think. You've never been entirely clear on this practice, which is why you keep yours inside the womb of a toy dog. This saucy little thing always puts you in a mood to spin and grin. Spin and grin. Sir Bappy Pawswater is underwhelmed by your beloved keepsake. Well, whatever. He's never been an easy fellow to impress. He practices his composure for hours every night in front of his placidity glass. Sold separately. This heirloom was a gift from your mom, and maybe these baby animals get tiny little baby animal gifts from their moms? Like an especially shiny rock, or a patch of sunlight. Oh, gosh, what an idea. You love it. Yeah, there's some cuties like these on your diary, which this is the key to. You have got it all figured out. Sorry, but that's the key to your diary, and your diary is not on your computer, but what if it could be online? A living journal of sorts. A daring dream, but surely impossible. This thing's not compatible with your middle-of-the-line computer. It's just way too old. It's beautiful, but you couldn't risk putting it on a chain to wear as a necklace or anything in case it got lost. You lead a pretty rough and tumble life. Well, you have today anyway. This is the key to your diary, not the key to your clothes closet. You don't lock your clothes closet. Your aesthetic, if not your diary, is an open book. You attempt to unlock the junior veterinarian's medkit with your diary key. You fail, because this is clearly the key to your diary. Also because the medkit is already unlocked. By which you mean there's no lock on it at all. You you didn't actually attempt to do this. Maybe this thing goes to your junior veterinarian's medkit? Probably not, since the key is a treasured family heirloom, and also because your medkit has no lock. There is no need to unlock the mysteries of Clarissa. She is happy to explain it all. Oh, Clarissa. If only you could explain what this heirloom is. Or, you know, don't. That's fine too. Sorry to be a bother. It wouldn't be much safer tucked under the covers than it was when tucked into a plush mother dog. You think you'll keep it tucked into your pocket? You keep your diary on your desk, not under your pillow. That would be such a corny place for it. On the desk, locked up, you're making a statement. Hey, this is my room, and my diary goes right out in the open where I want it, and I don't care who knows it because I hid the key, so don't bother looking for it, Jude. You'll never find it, you twerp. Okay, so it's more like a series of statements punctuated incorrectly. With everything that's going on, you really think you'd rather keep this close? It's very precious to you. You return your secret diary key to your bulletproof hiding place. Not literally bulletproof, of course, as far as you know. You were just being colorful. Okay, so we can get it again. Right, you wanted to write in your diary. Did you just forget and hide the key again? That's some Jude-like commitment to secrecy, jeez. Hey, I rearranged him, nice. None of these friends are as good as a hiding place as Puppy Surprise because they don't have unzippable wombs. It's a big oversight, in your opinion. None of these gifts are from your mom. That's okay. She gave you your wonderful heirloom, sort of, or at the very least strongly implied that she wanted you to have it, you think? You were a little young at the time. Like, literally a baby? You don't keep your diary on the bookshelf. That would be a pretty great hiding place, actually, now that you think about it. Like all the best puzzles, it's a solution that would only seem obvious in retrospect. It would be pretty cool to hide your precious heirloom behind your favorite book, if you were at all interested in doing that. With all the weird stuff happening, even books may afford no protection. Your mom didn't keep a diary, as far as you know. But heirlooms like this statue mean you still have an idea of what she was like. For example, this award shows that she was both a great dancer and a winner. Also pretty. And loved you. These were both treasures given to you by your mom. Or not quite given, you guess, or even left to you specifically, but you know your mom would have wanted you to have them. His magical secrets are not going to yield to the mundane trinket you inexpertly wield. You didn't mean to rhyme. You just got caught up in his mystical field. Your fate is sealed. The wizard's wizard shall be revealed. Your precious heirloom isn't magic, right? 'Cause that's not real. But monsters are, you guess? There's a lot to incorporate into the old worldview this evening. You could bake the key to your diary inside a tiny cake, like in a movie. Then anytime you wanted to write in your diary, you just eat the cake, which hopefully wouldn't have gotten all really gross by then, or gotten gross key taste all inside of it. Plush dog womb really remains the best storage option. And ruin your precious heirloom by melting it? Okay, it's still a very weak oven, but no. Your calendar is a peek at what's coming up soon, while your diary is a glimpse into the landscape of your past. In between, there's the eternal now of Joey Claire extraordinaire. Heck yeah, baby! Your mom left you this heirloom. Gosh, what was it? 10 or 11 years ago? 83, 82? You're not exactly sure, despite this calendar helpfully displaying both the year and the month. Weird. You've never thought about it before, but it's definitely weird for a calendar to do. Your precious heirloom from your mother isn't a branded LF product, not a notebook or silly pen or perhaps a pencil case. It's some kind of doodad. That's right, your diary and these posters were made by the same company. It's cute. All right, let's stop futzing around and do the diary. You get so excited about unlocking your diary that you accidentally jab the diary key right into your dresser. Maybe if you get a closer look at the dresser, your aim will be a little better, and also maybe chill out a little bit about reading your own diary. You really want to keep this close, at least while everything's still kind of monsters. You unlock and open your diary. Nice. Juicy secrets, here you come. Except, they're just your boring secrets, so you don't care. It's already good and unlocked. Doesn't fit. Okay, it's the same thing. Look. You usually don't have much to record in here on account of the humdrum life you lead. But you thinks today will be a different story. Maybe you should take a moment to record a note now, just in case this is your last chance to set down your final words before your tragic demise at the hands of a horrible sneaky thing. Right. Maybe something from your past will shed some light on today's terror mysteries. Some little detail mentioned offhand and forgotten, the key kicking off a causal cascade of connections that terminates in a catastrophe of snake monsters. April 13th, 1994. Dear Diary, ho-hum. Nothing much happened today. I tried to make some new friends at school, maybe expand our social circle beyond just me and Jude's friends all the time? Wait, is it weird to call my brother's friends my social circle? Oh well, you know what I mean, Diary. I don't have any friends I can really call mine, so I'm trying to branch out. I guess it's better than calling them my web ring. The kids at school are jerks, though. They called me a poser when I tried to talk to them about games I like and stuff. Between you and me, I think a bunch of the kids at school might be evil? Jeez, now I'm sounding all paranoid like my brother. They're just up to no good. I can feel it. June 12th, 1994. Dear Diary. First day of summer vacation. I can't wait to get a break from all of those clowns at school. Sometimes I think what I really need is a vacation from humanity. October 25th, 1994. Dear Diary. I can't believe I haven't recorded an entry since the beginning of last summer. Needless to say, I've been back to school for a while now. Next summer can't come soon enough. I came home to a drunk babysitter again today. Sure is some quality adult supervision we youngsters are getting around here. She means well enough, though. She means well enough, though. Haven't heard from Pa in weeks. Last we heard of him, he popped in the house to drop off some more mummies and globes or whatever, then skipped off to go on more adventures. What a bozo. Also, how lame is it that he made us all call him Pa instead of Dad while we were growing up? I miss Mom. If this is going to be the last entry in your diary, then by gum, it's gonna scare the bejesus out of whoever finds it once you're Snake Chow. November 11th, 1994. Dear Diary, forgive my hasty and nervous scribbling. I'm kinda scared, but maybe also kinda excited? Anyway, I can't talk much now. There's a sly and cunning monster on the prowl. Possibly hungry for kid meat, too. So, I've got to... Okay, I don't have a darn clue what I've got to do, but I'll fill you in later once I do it. Satisfied, you've done your duty vis-a-vis posterity, and in case the worst should happen, you relock your diary and hide the key again. Safe and sound. Ooh. Jude would like to talk to me. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this back out. Reach inside the expectant canine plush canine, and puppy surprises having puppies. Your secrets are safe in the loving belly of a dog. No, they aren't safe. Give me my key back. Mean. Okay, what's Jude got to say? Really? Nothing? Oh, it's only over here. That's fascinating. Okay. If writing in diary about tactics, please share. Over. I'm hanging up now. Not a phone. Over. Click dial tone. Can see you through window. You are making sound with mouth. Over and out. Sadly, the walkie-talkie doesn't... Oh. Really? That redirected to the walkie-talkie. That's fun. Okay. Looks like the coast is clear. For now. Better hurry over to the hall closet and retrieve your weapon before that crafty old serpent, you mean snake, can get the drop on you. So I should get my old weapon from the hall closet and head up to the attic, right? Affirmative. Also refrain from excess chatter. Over. Oh, right, yeah. Bye. Could alert monsters. Over. Yeah, I got it. I'm going. Bye. Can't be too careful about espionage game, Joey. Silence golden. Over. Jude, shut up. Remember one time on training mission, couldn't keep my trap shut. Hoo boy, really landed us in a pickle. Over. You've never had any training. I'm turning off the walkie. Bye. Over and click. Okay, Look. It is a globe-like sculpture with an arrow that conveniently alerts you to the location of the ceiling. Ah, so that's where it is. Thank you, globe-like sculpture. Your percussive footwork seems to set off its internal gyroscope or whatever. Maybe it's a tap dance detector? Your potential esteem for this relic rises slightly. You give it a tap. Wow. Look at it go. Oh, well, that was stimulating. The door to your room. Heavily personalized, of course. Jude thinks he's the only one who can nerd up his door, but you showed him too can, and in fact will play that game. Thank you, Nezred. Welcome to the stream. The lightning story was only a clever distraction masking a secret abduction. It was a lightning ruse. Nope. His friends brought him a specific surprise. A special? Yeah. Oh no. No. That's spelled right. I just can't read. Nope. His friends brought him a special surprise. It's a horse with a cake. Jude insisted the terrified horse was being abducted. Your counter-argument completely schooled him. To the mask salesman? Sure. Let's go with that. I've got a different one that's a reference to the mask salesman. It's close enough. Yeah, I know. This is more of a Homestuck thing, but yeah. Well spotted. There's some Majora's Mask influences there. This painting now commemorates your triumph and a particularly spectacular equine nativity. Can't use that. Can't use that. Okay. It's your mother's jewelry box, a precious heirloom of immense. It's your mother's jewelry box, a priceless heirloom of immeasurable sentimental value. Also, there appear to be some of your brother's empty cans of Pringles. No! You might jostle your mom's jewelry box off the table. Your mom's jewelry box. This is where you found your heirloom when you were very young. Not long after... What happened? It was just nestled in there among her fine, beautiful jewels, and you just took it. You just had this feeling like you had to keep it safe. Maybe you wanted something of hers to be just for you. Oh, it's this guy. Oh, Toby Fox worked on it. It's more that Toby Fox specifically worked on the game quite a bit, and a lot of this in the first. Also, a lot of this music was either written, contributed to by Toby. There's tracks in Hiveswap too. So there's a poster that I'm gonna highlight near the end of this game that's got Toby in it. I'll give you a shout out for that at that time. Also, am I pronouncing your name right? Nezred? Just want to make sure that isn't N-E-S, which it could be for all I know. And, this thing's always giving you the creeps. But that didn't stop you from patching up after Jude accidentally ripped it with an experimental foamless dart. Alright, yeah. I figured. It's pretty cool. Welcome to the stream. Alright. So, this is This is Karkit Vantas, if you don't know. This is the Sufferer. It's a very long story. This is Homestuck right here. There's just some Homestuck going on. You're not even sure he wants out. Just look at him. Ugh, no. The chains would rattle, and geez, it'd be horrible. Okay, this was your mom's, but you aren't sure what it is. It looks like a key, but to what? You have a deep down feeling that it's important somehow. Better keep it close. These are your tap shoes. They enable you to tap dance. Your tap dancing lessons also deserve a little credit. From the first and last Dark Gun War with Jude, Belinda here provides great cover for those who refuse to use firearms. Namely you. You tried to distract him with your tap dancing and then stick a dart on him. It didn't work. At all. She seems unimpressed. For such a beautiful work of art, she has lousy taste. No, she might topple over, and what crueler way to kill a ballerina than by tap dancing her to death? No, you'd never forgive yourself. No way. It might rust, or tarnish, or whatever bad thing happens to precious heirlooms when they get stupid gun water on them. This gun can shoot a stream of water up to 50 feet away. Too bad you don't use guns. Equip? You don't use guns. You try to tap it right off the couch, but it's nestled into that plump plush pretty good. This lady was just hanging out in her altogether, which, you mean, who are you to judge? Except it made you slightly uncomfortable, so you churched her up a little. You feel kind of silly about it now, but whatever, you were like 8? Okay, I think that's the hallway. I need my flashlight. Right, I can check out Jude's door. Percussive motion might set off Jude's pet, which is the last thing you feel like dealing with right now. And that tube there. No way! Your mom left it to you. And Jude probably wouldn't even care about it because it doesn't have anything to do with aliens. Look. This is the door to your neurotic dork of a brother's maximum security bedroom. He keeps it locked up tight because of all the silly conspiracy work he does in there. You sincerely doubt you'll be entering this room anytime soon. But really, why would you even want to? It's full of nerd stink and goober crud. Not to mention it's where his pet usually lurks. You love all animals, but just the same. That's one you'd rather let Jude deal with. Yeah, that's the same. Very occasionally, your precious heirloom shines eerily in the dark. Not unlike a light bright. You can't remember exactly when this has happened, but you can picture it so clearly in your mind's eye that you're certain it's true. Look. It's your light bright. Hours of fun with the number of hours and the degree of fun dependent on the power of your imagination, which in your case means many hours and a lot of fun. Light. Your heavy, rapid tap stomps would send those little pegs scattering across the floor, maybe even under your still tapping feet. You might even slip and roll across them down the hall to the edge of the stairs and tumble down them, breaking every single bone in your body. Every single bone! There's just no way you could take that risk. You've always been a bit creeped out by the monster in the water. It feels a bit like the eye is following you, but only sometimes. I remember these. This lamp's not even plugged in, but there are at least 9 possible light sources in your immediate area, so maybe it got lost in the typically well-illuminated shuffle. A little small for a stage, but that lamp might do for a spotlight if it weren't kind of the opposite of a spotlight. You don't know. Those two don't share a visual motif. On the other hand, maybe that's what the locked dresser wants you to think. Oh. Okay, now, the key doesn't fit, which is a shame because you take back what you thought before. There's some aesthetic similarities for sure. Look. It's the hallway closet. If memory serves, there's a box full of some old belongings of yours in there. You wonder if it has what you're looking for. Oh, did you follow me? Thank you so much. That box probably has the stuff you need, but you can't reach. You wonder what your next step should be. Actually, your tap shoes might be the solution to this problem. If you could just get a good stop going, you might be able to tumble that box right off the shelf. You think back to it before. Back to when this closet door was shut. You had a reasonably good guess about what was inside, but now your guess is even more reasonable. No. Your precious heirloom doesn't seem to want to go in the ratty cardboard box that you forgot was in the closet. You can tell because you don't put it in there. However, you wonder what's stashed in there. Nothing fragile, you hope. I can dance again. Oh, that's fun. You pick through the box and find your flashlight and an old pair of ballet slippers. These will come in handy. Oh, hey, there's some pet treats in here too. You keep caches of these all over. Never know when you'll need to treat You keep caches of these all over. Never know when you'll need to treat a pet. You go ahead and try your flashlight. Click, click, click. Ah, no dice. Another battery problem? You open it up. Wait, there were no batteries in here at all. Just a bunch of stupid pogs? Dang it, Jude. Found my old strife weapon. Guess what? It's full of your stupid pogs. Crap, forgot about those. Please save. Over. Fine. Okay, but I'm not going to take especially good care of them. Please protect Mulder at all costs. Over. You and Mulder. This Scully pog is obviously where it's at. Terms acceptable. Keep them safe. She's yours. Over. So, I guess I head up to the attic now? That is the plan. Over. I better shake a leg then. Affirmative. Over and out. I have so many new interactions. I am going to need some D-cell batteries if I want this flashlight to serve any purpose other than emergency POG storage container and very poorly designed paperweight. However, can I combine things with it? Yes. One day, you'll see your name up in lights. But every journey begins with a single, perfect, graceful, incredible step. In your case, that first single, perfect, graceful, incredible step is to find some stupid batteries and pop them in here. You don't know. If you feel like it. Your hot steppin' isn't enough to light up the night this time. Gotta find some batteries, you guess. Just a running theme today. It doesn't quite glow, but those jeweled eyes will catch the faintest little glimmer of light in a dark room, and sparkle like the Dickens. Sort of like what a flashlight does, you guess. You may be romanticizing your heirloom's capacity for luminosity. Oh. Well, thank you for going to such lengths. Alright. They fit in the funnel part, but they're just a little too wide for the 45mm in diameter tube, which was, of course, just barely wide enough for the Pogs. You have no interest in refilling your flashlight with your brother's garbage. Jude's Pogs. There's a cool Scully one, but the rest are all dumb cartoons, vague, rebellious graffiti, and bad video games. When the Pogs slam and clatter and scatter, do they not possess a grace all their own? Is their dance any less a defiance of that cruel tyrant, gravity, than is yours? No, they do not. And yes, it is. The frustrating thing about flat garbage is there's no point in stomping it. You shave down the edges of the Pog with the green key. It will now be used to solve lots of different puzzles throughout your house. Good work! Just kidding, you don't do that because that would be ridiculous and an insult to your puzzling skills. Careful not to mix these up. You'd hate to reach for a critter treat and come back with, like, a Wren, or a Stimpy, or a Doug Funny. The world is just not ready yet. Ah, beautiful, comfortable satin ballet slippers. Like dancing on a cloud. Unlike the canvas shoes you wear for class, which are like dancing on a far less luxurious cloud. The two twisty snakes that make up your heirloom seem to be in their own delicate dance, don't they? Oh, it's about, 300 some odd dollars, but that's really just to make sure that I don't have to, like, choose between paying bills and eating enough food, which I'm currently doing. I'll survive if I don't have enough food. I have enough to pay my bills right now. But I'd like to be able to eat, so that's what that's for. I wouldn't worry too much about it if you can't donate. And the minimum's 2, so it's really give what you give. yeah, I've got a lot of ramen soup, rice and beans. You got me with saying ice there. Twisting around each other, both chasing, both fleeing. Where does it begin? And where does it end? Your dog would make a great ballerina if only they didn't have 4 left feet. Thank you. You got that joke from a popsicle stick. Oh, but you want these, in case you find a cute animal to feed them to. Plus, stomping on them would get crumbs everywhere. Depending on your present location, the previous sentence may have been sarcasm. Gosh, location conditional sincerity. This really is an adventure. Don't worry at all. By all means. Please take care of yourself first. Thank you for thinking of me. That's already more than enough. And thank you for the follow. Alright, couple more. I think it's just one more, actually. Your mom loved animals, as you well know. She had the grace of a gazelle, and the ferocity of a much, much angrier gazelle. Yeah, I'm actually working on that. You helped. I need 50 followers. You got me up to 49. And I also need 3 average viewers. Then I get to be an affiliate, which gets me those buttons. I'm working on it. I'm just doing my daily grind. Thank you. It's very silly. Okay, not mixing these up. And okay, yeah, I've done all of these. So let's clear out this hallway so I don't need to worry about it when I'm running through later. It would have made more sense just to leave them in the closet. Which I can't do. You tried to feed this to one of the few things in this hallway that doesn't have a mouth. Very tenacious, Joey. Sounds like a bold and exciting way to break the heck out of a new lamp. Or just a lamp in general. Oh yeah, check it out. That's this particular PNG tuber. I also have a VTuber when I'm using a different machine. But I've got a different setup there altogether. Yeah, thank you. This was made by Ohm, who's also Busker Bailey. If you want to see them, they're I can give them a shout out actually. I can't give them a shout out because I haven't set that up. But that's their account. You can probably find them that way. Yeah, you should go give them a follow if you like their art, because they made all of this. My background, me, that's all them. Check her out. She's really cool. Anyways, yeah. That sounds like a bold and exciting way to break the heck out of a lamp. You've used the light braid on some low-budget performances you've put on. It's a surprisingly evocative backdrop if you do say so yourself, and by goodness, you certainly do say so yourself. Thank you, but someone else is already doing tons of unpaid work for me for free because they're wonderful and silly. But I appreciate the offer. This is already something. Thank you for being here. Right now, I really just need viewers, so that's all I could ask in the first place. Thank you. Thank goodness you had an extra pair hidden away in here. You are actively thanking goodness right this minute. I already got a stream set up. Thank you, though. Don't you like the parallax? Isn't it nice? With the scrolly scroll? Yeah, that's the overlay. I love this overlay. This makes me happy. Freed from their flashlight tomb only to be returned to a cardboard crypt. Even pogs don't deserve that. You just got them out of here. They might come in handy. What if you see a cute animal and you didn't have a treat to give them? You don't even want to imagine it. I can just keep dancing. That's cool. I can just keep dancing here forever. That's nice. It's good to know. No. You use the pegs, not the pogs. Lightbright needs pegs. Pogging is not recommended. Lightbright is not a toy for pets. Arrange the pegs such that they will, when the switch is flicked, be illuminated and form a charming picture is a pretty abstract concept for an animal to grasp. And then... You slip a few under the door. When this is all over, when everything that's gone wrong has been set right again, when the monsters live on only in your nightmares, then he'll know that you have some of his pogs. And right? It's, these point-and-click adventures are very much a send-up of those, well, this is very much a send-up of those sorts of old point-and-click adventures, and that's why, I know the solution, but, like, this game is about 2 hours long if I do the solution right away, and most of the content is actually hidden in these, like, incorrect answers, so I'm just going through, trying to keep categories. So these are little pucks, these are dances, but I'm doing the dances at the same time in this hallway because I'm gonna have to run through later, as you'll see. Ugh. You don't want to accidentally agitate Jude's pet. Yeah. This one doesn't really need a walkthrough. It's very friendly, and it's much more charming, I would say, than most games. I highly recommend it. It's very cheap. It's called Hiveswap, if you noticed, but I kickstarted it, so I got it for free, and I'm streaming it, just in case anyone else doesn't want to or can't buy the game. Also, I'm reading it out for people who find the reading part challenging, and I'm trying to do varied voices to make sure it's a nice little, Yeah, they had some financial troubles for a while, but they're working on Act 3, and I voice act in a different thing at SawCon, but I found out about Act 3 continuing at SawCon, so that was around when I started doing this, and I'm just getting back into it now. This is actually one of my first times using the really good setup. Yeah. Hell yeah. Learn that coding. He's in his treehouse, remember? And he makes a pretty lousy audience anyway. Alright. Wait a minute. What was that use? How is there a use there? You could scrounge some ammo, but you don't use guns, so you won't. That's interesting. Maybe a glitch? Oh no, it's just a conditional thing based on angle. I don't think I've ever found that before. It's very silly. Okay. Sounds like a recipe for SOGs. Ugh, you know this joke is bad, but you kind of don't care because you don't like pogs or guns. If you could somehow rig this thing up to exclusively fire treats into the expected mouths of cute animals, but no, it's not safe. They might choke. Curse you again, guns! You've used your ballet to dodge Jude's awareness training ambushes many times. In fact, he's never actually hit you. You're either excellent at dodging or he's a really lousy shot. Or both. Could always be both. Oh, yes. Well, I mean, all of them are in the style, but Joey Claire is wonderful. And she's a precious cinnamon roll, and I will protect her forever. You cast a few tokens before the feet of the local totem of combat. You feel her gratitude pour out in wave after wave of power. Getting stronger. You can do anything. Nope, it's gone. Oh well. She doesn't look hungry. She does look strong, however. One day you hope to be as strong as this beautiful, powerful, giant woman. You show her a few steps. Nothing. Too bad. She could put the calves in Cavalier. Oh my god, yeah, there's going to be some combat in this, hopefully. I'll get there. You'll meet a serpent, and the combat's going to be fun there. Because it's very much like, you know, it's Undertale combat, so it's not really combat. I'm not really hurting them. I'm just kind of stunning them and making my escape sort of thing. That is profoundly creepy, and you'd rather not. No. He's been bad. He's being punished. No pogs this guy. Thankfully. Right! At the Pringles cans. Why didn't Jude put the pogs in those instead of in your flashlight? A sudden rush of disgust threatens to overwhelm your senses as you realize those Pringles cans may actually be full of pogs. You bury this thought just like a just stung child covering a half-smashed, twitching wasp under frantic fistfuls of dirt. God, that one's a mouthful. Hiding some pet treats in Jude's Pringles can would be a pretty good prank, but the specter of running out of the treats later, right when you meet a cute new animal friend, looms large. You don't understand the function of this gaudy, goofy thing. Plus, get a load of this globe with the arrow through it. Pogs are gaudy. You admit you don't actually know what the heck this thing is, despite it being perched right outside your bedroom door. But you are basically positive that it's not a bird cage, so there's no reason to stock it with tasty treats. You tread lightly, producing no disturbance to its balance. Well, that's what ballet is for, apparently. And now, let us proceed. A bunch of stuff that should be moved into the attic. There's some toys here too, but you don't play with that much anymore. Basically, a useless pile of trash. And on the first pass, I'm just going to use these three. Just to make sure I'm not being monotonous again, because gonna rub everything on everything. Gonna make multiple passes here too. It'd get lost or broken or stolen or worse. You don't know what's worse than those things, but it's clearly on the table if you dump your precious treasure in this loose pile of stuff. That sounds like a great way to end up with rats in the attic stairway. Wait, you think back to your zoo books. Rats don't just spontaneously generate inside cluttered houses in rural areas, even if you do scatter pet treats around these nice rodent-friendly junk piles. Squirrels, now. You'd get squirrels in a heartbeat. Honestly, there's probably some pogs in this pile of junk already. They're like roaches. You offer him one with a picture of a graffiti apple on it. It says, "Bad to the core." He's totally not into it, and you can't blame him. It's not even a pun. It's not even anything. You got this toy caterpillar so you could learn how to cure caterpillar diseases. But it turns out plush caterpillars don't get sick. Still pretty cute, though. Befriend. The caterpillar cannot help you. And you cannot help the caterpillar. Not a productive friendship, but at least nobody's being taken advantage of. No, he has his own treats. They're like these little plastic apples that stick to his mouth with magnets or something. You've got to see it in action again sometime. It's phenomenal. You've already put this inside one stuffed animal, and this one doesn't even have an accessible womb. But maybe he'd be willing to spin a little chrysalis for it? Nothing. I guess you have left him on the attic stairs for a while. Wow. When considered together, these popular toys are actually pretty terrible. You're sort of astonished that anyone has ever had fun with them. Despite its cute name, Slinky is not a pet. Slinky is more like an instrument. Or an appliance. Or maybe like an objet an objet d'art? There we go. As you approach the spiraling coils of the slinky with your heirloom in hand, the metal gets a little warm, and it begins to vibrate slightly. Just as quickly as it started, it stops. You don't think it has anything to do with opening the attic door, but it certainly was weird. That's another pile of useless trash, and there is the door. Let's look. On the rare occasions he is home, Pa can be heard bumping around up here while tending to his hoard of stupid antique trash. Or, priceless artifacts, you guess. No. No, you don't. It's locked! But you need to get in here as soon as you can! You peer through the keyhole. Weird. What the heck was that thing? How long has it been in there? Hey, the attic door is locked. Cripes, forgot about that. Tactical blunder on my part. Over. It's fine, no big deal. Just left the safety of my room to be eaten by monsters in the hallway because my dorky brother sent me to the safety of the wrong side of a locked... Is it not fine? Over. Jude! Panic not necessary. Still need to get you to attic. Over. For safety, right. Well, whatever. I'm trusting you, I guess. Appreciate that. Over. Although, so far, it hasn't really paid off. Joey, please. Just need you to head to trophy room. Over. Oh, gross. I hate that place. Why does he even need a special trophy room when our whole house is just his dumping ground for whatever garbage he picks up on his stupid adventures? We'll find key to attic there. Mysterious whims of absent father not relevant. Over. Fine. Over and out. So, head to the trophy room? Affirmative. Over. Got it. Over and out. In a perfect world, you could just slip all these under the door. You'd be rid of them, and they'd be in the attic where they belong. But that would be pretty mean to Jude, especially since you have no idea where the attic key is. No pets on the other side. Do you think? You hope? Nah, this doesn't go to the attic door. That would be kind of anticlimactic, you think, not to mention a little too obvious. Alright, now we get to move. Yeah, we're really moving. The hallway seems spookier from this side. Frankly, you feel a little spookier yourself just basking in its spooky aura. Alright. You're about to mess with these portraits, but on second thought, you decide to just take a closer look at them. Ooh la la! That their mom is looking très magnifique. When you grow up, you hope that this is what mirrors will look like. You and your very good dog. Aw. There aren't any pictures of the three of you together, so you tried to make one through the art of composition. By hanging these three solo photos together, it's sort of like there's a photo of all three of you. Sorta. A lovely diptych of school portraits. The laser background, the bad hair days, simply perfection. And we won't use these portraits anytime soon, definitely. Haha, Jude puts the dip in diptych, you mutter to yourself. Such an unreal burn on the unsuspecting chump. But he probably wouldn't even get it. Come to think of it, maybe neither do you? Pa, and someone you presume is his sister? Nobody he's ever mentioned, not the two of you talk much. Kind of weird to think that you might have like a second cousin out there you've never met. Maybe she died young? The old-timey times were pretty rough. Mom is the picture of grace and radiance. And Pa is just Pa. Seriously, has he ever changed his look? Sometimes you wonder if he was born with his spectacles and mustache. Or at least one of the two. You and Jude have a lot of fun memories with your babysitter. By now, probably more than with Ma and Pa combined. You'd always thought of her as the kind of cool and fun older kid you wanted to be. Until you got old enough to realize she's a pretty sucky role model, actually. You wonder what her family is like. But it's probably not your place to ask. Pa used to be great with animals. You wonder what happened. Maybe a betrayal? No. Impossible! Look at how good that dog is. That dog never betrayed anybody in his entire life. You would stake your entire reputation on it. The whole thing. You can't even look at this picture. You deplore cruelty to animals. One of the many ways you and your father never saw eye to eye. One of the other ways was how he never actually looked at you much, let alone at your eyes. This thing. You put a pog in the serpent's mouth. Nothing. You reach to pick it back up. It's gone! What the heck? Is there something mysterious about the statue? Could it be a... Oh, no. Wait, there it is. There's the pog. It was in the mouth after all. This snake is a statue and cares little for treats. You, for your part, care little for snakes. You were about to think about some snarky quip about how these two things are obviously not related. So why would you try to use one with the other? Jeez. But something about this key does remind you of snakes. Weird. You have a feeling these two things aren't exactly... Well, you have a feeling these two things aren't actually related in any practical way, though? What the heck were you thinking trying to use them together? It doesn't even have a keyhole. Come on. Tap dancing would probably just agitate a snake. If you had to get past one, which is very likely possible. Likely even. You cleverly dodged the serpent. But you're not surprised. Ballet is, after all, the preferred school of dance for such a venture. Uh-oh. Well. It seems the power is out. I want to go back. I'm scared. That should make the trophy room quite the adventure. Oh, that's downstairs, isn't it? Without any natural lights. Oh. Which is to say, not quite the adventure you wish you were having right now. Help. The hint function is currently disabled. It won't do any good to try and use it, for now. For now? No, I'm using it now, fuck you. The hint function is still disabled. Or were you simply hoping this message had changed? Hey, you don't need to be rude. Honestly, if you're already having this much trouble, there may not be much hope for you. Things only get much more difficult for you from here on. Fine. Fine. Be that way. But I'm slamming the hint button later if it's like a lion or something. Well, it would seem the power's out. Classic psyops, over. What? Credit where it's due. Best way to destabilize countermeasures. Leave you in the dark. Literally, over. Not literally. It's still like late afternoon. I can see fine. Thank you. Should have no trouble getting to trophy room then, over. Fine then, Mr. Mission Control. Yes, great. Over and out. Oh, right. Let's see how much of this I can even interact. I can interact with this area. It's the handheld gaming device that you and Jude share. He hogs it mostly, but that's alright since you got the console in your room. Scrounge? You have it on good authority that the batteries in this thing are A, way too small for anything you may or may not currently need batteries for, and B, dead as a bag of doornails. The green LCD screen and the red power indicator would have very agreeable chromatic resonance with your heirloom. If only the batteries in them weren't utterly drained. Why, thank you. I have a YouTube channel. I do voiceovers pretty regularly. That's pretty much where these VODs go. I've been lazy about uploading them lately because I need to edit them down a bit, and I haven't been learning. Oh, thank you. I'm also coming out with some actual video essays soon. One of them will feature, and I'll give you a little sneak peek thanks to feature Worm Guy. So yeah, look forward to Worm Guy. Worm Guy's gonna be there. I gotta set up Worm Guy alerts. You could put the pet tree into the battery slot or the game slot. Both are a terrible idea, though. The illusion of choice strikes again. Next to the technological wonder of portable gaming, these pogs seem awfully primitive. Like crude Stone Age garbage. Sure, you could become the first person alive to defeat Tatanga while performing a tap routine, but would history remember you for it? Any good ballet games on here? Of course not. This thing would need way, way more buttons to emulate something as complex and nuanced as ballet. Alright, I've done that one first because I always miss that one last. And then I'm going to work my way back so that this is a nice organic arc. This bookshelf contains several of Pa's books, including Pistols to Pelts, How to Turn Sweet Intelligent Animals into Weird Rugs and Stuff. Teach Yourself Taxidermy, I guess. And Safari, Stories of Bold Men and the Animals they killed from a distance even though they weren't hungry and did not intend to eat them. I think she might be sensitive about the animal cruelty. It's a possibility. You don't need your Graceville ballet skills to avoid reading. All you need is the power of your video games. They're already pretty cluttered on the shelf without your help. You may have been the one who tap danced these books into their cluttered state in the first place. Are these moon shoes? Oh my god, there are moon shoes in the game. Moon shoes! Moon shoes! Sorry. Plus, the whole thing is way too cluttered. This whole thing is way too cluttered to be a good hiding place. Plus, you've already elected to keep this thing close, remember? You're like 90% sure you remember that. Right? Moon shoes is an automatic W. Loose paper and animal treats? Wow, that sounds like just a great way to get mice. Not that they'd last long in this house, considering... Yeesh. You'd rather not think about it. It was bad enough with that thing in the house, and now there's monsters too? Great, getting to sleep tonight is going to be really easy now, and it's always assuming you don't just get killed before that. Wait, is Jude's pet an actual snake? I always thought it was like... I thought it was like a ferret, maybe, but I think his pet's an actual snake. Think positive, Joey. See puzzles, find solutions. And try to avoid creating perfect little furnished nests for rats to move into. Pogs. Aside from being things you flip and being made of paper, they're pretty much the opposite of books. Although these similarities aren't easy to discard, now that you think about it. A pog is basically just a tiny nibble of an enormous book feast. There's the big screen. Got the cable hookup and everything. It's your home altar, and your method of worship is listless vegetation. The gods reward you with glimpses of the divine. Clarissa, Alex Mack, and the cool green lady from Reboot. You really like her. Yeah, she's cool. Yeah, Joey, I'm gay too. You like to dance to ballet videotapes while no one else is in the house, which is pretty frequently. Your babysitter has her other job. Jude has his treehouse and his other friends. You have your dancing and your puzzles. But there is someone else in the house tonight. Lots of someones. So you best keep on your toes, literally and figuratively. It doesn't seem like a great time. Besides, nothing they play on TV is ever any good to tap to, and the only good tap dance videotapes you have are Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers movies. The tap dancing parts are great, but when you have to sit down, but then you have to sit through a bunch of boring boy-girl stuff to get to the next part. Sorry, I started trying to fast speak in a Brooklyn accent there. Oh, there we go. There's the room. Okay, look at that. Pa's major totem of power. The impressively clunky item controls the TV, the garage door, the toaster, thermostat, and pretty much everything else of a gizmological nature. You literally cannot pick it up without using both hands. Can I tap dance it? Right now, the universal remote was designed to reduce extraneous physical activity. Using it while prancing around sort of defeats that purpose. Oh, was there another? Which is why you have no interest in this dumb thing. You briefly consider the idea of a television that could be controlled by the rhythmic tapping of your shoes. Not sure if you're willing to deal with the inevitable torrent of sprained ankles and lawsuits, though. The universal remote can control anything. You have a feeling that your heirloom, if it has a function at all, will be much more exclusive. Another point in its favor. Your dog loves trying to chew this thing up enough already. The last thing you need to get is that treat scent all over it. One of these pogs depicts an image of an anthropomorphic remote control leering amorously at an anthropomorphic television set. This television set is quite buxom, of course, so that you know it's a lady. Because otherwise it would be weird, right? Cheapers, you hate pogs. No, these things are basically the opposite of TV, and you don't want to cause an explosion. The TV has a habit of displaying cute animals, especially when you're in charge of the remote, but it is not itself an animal, cute or otherwise. Alright. That'd scratch the screen! And more importantly, might scuff the edge of your precious heirloom. And for what? For what? Sorry, you're just a little on edge right now. A beanbag chair. Super comfy and thankfully not filled with real beans. You could take a nap, but you've kind of got a lot going on right now, you know? Give it a good strong kick with your powerful leg. It absorbs the blow, and it doesn't seem too shaken by it. A formidable foe. It's too uneven and has too much give. You'd break your ankles, like, well, ankles. I've broken both my ankles. This sucks. You dig your heirloom into the chair, tearing a little hole in it. It's full of styrofoam, not beans at all. You're crushed, but you soldier on. No pets on the furniture, even the furniture. Pogs, beanbag chairs. Boy, it sure is the current year that you live in. 1994, you mean? Mm-hmm. All right. Just a reliable old portable cassette player, complete with headphones. Jude can occasionally be found using it to even further isolate himself from reality. Let's scavenge this first. You pop open this behemoth and score! You pocket the E-cell batteries right into the old Silodex. Books don't need batteries. They're simply books. All they need is you. Or rather, that's all you need to enjoy them. Books don't particularly need you at all, really. Would these puny puppies be able to power this big boss hog of a television set? Unfortunately, no. No, you need them more than the remote does, especially because its owner isn't even here. Ugh. Good old Pa! These batteries are huge. As far as you know, they don't fit anything but the universal remote. Hey, night's young. Will they work on the... These batteries are so huge they don't even begin to fit. Like fitting a round hag into a round hole that's a bit smaller than the peg. You'll need some D-cell batteries. Twin pillars of power, just like your legs. Kick, kick, kick! Well, it's more leaps and bounds than kicks. So far, you don't run on batteries, you run on razzle-dazzle. Your precious heirloom doesn't run on batteries, though it does seem to have a strange energy to it, doesn't it? Kind of like a delicate, spiraling power, like a seashell warmed by the sun, or a snake coiling on a hot rock. Batteries are kind of like pet treats for appliances. Or, you guess batteries are more like pet food than pet treats. Appliances enjoy no treats. Theirs is a dull and routine existence, knowing either apogee nor perigee. Pogs. Batteries batteries neither included nor required. Batteries are for fun toys. You don't need any extra energy to use a beanbag chair. In fact, the less energy you have, the better the better a chair they seem to be. The monster truck, yeah. They're too big. You know, you're beginning to kind of wish you didn't have to use batteries for everything. Unfortunately, there is no alternative, and never will be. These are way too big for that little ombre. And honestly, this is no time for games. Dead batteries, of course. Seems to be a running theme. Alright, I'll come back later before I trigger the event. Yes! These awful things. I hate them. They're so good. It's a bear that your paw shot and turned into a trophy. Now all his friends who come in this room will think, oh, this guy shot a bear, okay. Except he doesn't really have any friends and he's never here. So it's just a nice, big, horrifying thing for you to deal with. You can't tell if the noises you hear are from the monsters or the wind. It's either some particularly whooshy monsters or some really groany wind. Leaving the protection of your home seems like a bad idea. Might be creatures and weirdos ahoy out there. You think you will stay inside, where your chances of meeting creatures and weirdos are still pretty good, honestly. One of your pa's recent victims. You love animals. He loves killing animals and turning them into ghoulish trophies, celebrating his victory over nature. Yeah, big man, as long as he has a big stupid gun. In time. Although you're happy to perform for your own stuffed animals, the more sinister nature of Pa's stuffed animals gives you pause. You mean pause. The door is utterly unmoved by your heartbreaking performance. Yeah, well, get in line, door. You aren't too blown away by it either. It's true. You're just not putting up a jaded, cynical front for the door. You're not just putting up a jaded, cynical front for the door. You're your own harshest critic. Fucking hell. Wow, that door is sturdy. Not that it slowed that big snake monster down. It didn't even slow him down for a full second. Nope. The front door doesn't even lock, actually. Which, ha-ha! Troubling in its own way, honestly. The three guardians who encircle and triangle the entranceway to your home do deserve some treats, but in their dedication to their duty, but their dedication to their duty wouldn't permit them to pause in their vigilance even for a moment, even long enough to scarf a sweet treat. That'd be littering. Plus, when you open the door, a monster might dash in and kill you. Pog littering is not the thing you want to die doing. You don't even want to die at all. You don't need batteries. You could just turn the knob if you didn't care that it'd probably get you killed by a big monster. But you do care. You care a lot, frankly. Yeah, right? They really worked hard on it. And Act 2 is going to be even better. I have Act 2, and Act 3 is, when it comes out, I get for free. So I'm hoping to like, you know, have Act 2 done by the time Act 3 comes out. That'll be really cool. By the way, these E-cells, like, change a fucking, you know, pathway in the story. I've already diverged. I'm like doing a completionist run. This is high quality shit. No, this isn't the depowered mode or anything. Look, whatever this bear does, he's already doing it as hard as he can. Don't worry about it. All are welcome. And also, that's very John Egbert energy, and that's quite immersive for reading the comic. I should also note that you can read the comic any way you like. If you play Hiveswap Friend Sim, which I have Hiveswap Friend Sim, I'm going to stream that as well. I've already streamed at least one episode. So, do you like Alphys? Alphys's glasses are Egbert's glasses. John Egbert's the main character of Homestuck. Kind of an underrated character. Yep. Main character. First page. Yes, that's canon. Toby Fox went on record and said Alphys wears John Egbert's glasses. In fact, people have made fan comics about it. You can go ahead and Google it. It's Alphys John Egbert glasses. There you go. It's the same exact glasses. No. She made her own glasses to look like them. She likes John Egbert. She's a fan. She's a fan of John Egbert. Yeah, canonically. Homestuck exists in Deltarune, and she is a fan. Yeah, Homestuck is basically an anime in terms of a comic, is what they're saying. It's a joke. She's a nerd. You can't use pogs with this animal. They're just unbearable. Aw, look at that face. He really does look like he's rearing up for a treat. Or to slap someone's head clean off with a single swipe of his incredible paws. Or on the other. One or the other. For sure. You think you might be bear keying up the wrong tree. You make yourself as intimidating as possible. The bear is terrified. Aw, don't worry. There's no pause for alarm. You don't need to outrun the bear. You only need to outrun you. Wait, that joke doesn't really work when you're narrating to yourself. Or wait, what are you talking about? You drop this line of thought forever because you're not narrating to yourself. Hey, a bear. Just try a little harder. You are certainly capable of addressing the task at hand. Or have you forgotten what it is? Yeah, wait for it. Because I'm trying not to spoil it. It'll evolve as the game goes on. This game starts like it's a very simple point-and-click game, and it's very much not. It's Homestuck. If you intend to be Frankenstein PA's little project back to life, you're going to need a lot more electricity and a blatant disregard for ethics. Homestuck wins, actually, because Gamzee has no timeline in which he dies. And, honk. 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 Funny you mentioned that. I am a voice actor for one Homestuck character for a fan venture. Exactly one. So I get to lay claim to exactly one character's motif. Her name is Cross. In Alabaster, the Doomed Timeline. Hey, that's a fun coincidence. She actually turned out to be oddly similar to a character I already RP'd, and like my voice turned out to be weirdly perfect for it, so worked out well in a bunch of ways. I'm the one who says be show jerk. I love that word. It's a good word. But yeah, if you're gonna intend to Frankenstein Pa's little project back to life, if you're going to intend to Frankenstein Pa's little project back to life, you're going to need a lot more electricity and a blatant disregard for ethics. You're tempted to stick the rest of your pogs into this poor creature's mouth and be done with them, but sadly, it is already filled to the brim with useless filler. You doubt this creature has any interest in chowing down, since it lacks the requisite organs and all. I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you. I'll be happy to keep streaming until then. As an aspiring veterinarian, you are sometimes forced to temper your sentimentality with a cold dose of biological expertise. No. You don't think you'll be putting your precious heirloom in this poor fellow's grotesque remains. This poor fella is so shoddily put together, yet you fear your turbulent tap routine might cause it to collapse into a loose jumble of remains. Although you're happy to perform for your own stuffed animals, the more sinister nature of Pa's stuffed animals gives you pause. You mean pause. Ah! This is a reference to the beginning of Homestuck. Love that. Let's look. A piano can be used to turn the slight motion of one's fingers into music. Those ivories, how they beg to be tickled. But you mustn't! And also, you can't? Okay, you can't use anything on those. Do this. If someone could just get on this piano and drop some Leo Delibes, it'd really power up your ballet moves. Suppose you could even settle for a stilted rendition of Hot Cross Buns. Hard to dance and play at the same time, you know from extremely depressing experience. Especially when you can't even play. Sometimes when you hold your heirloom, you do hear music in your mind. A sweet and tinkling song bewitching and alien yet naggingly familiar, like the theme song to a show that only you watched when you were little, and that nobody else remembers. It haunts you sometimes, and thus you do not hold your heirloom all that often. The only treat this piano would respond to is a good tuning. Well, the pogs fit pretty snugly between the keys, and that much is clear. But doing this benefits neither the pogs nor the piano. You'd play the note that matches the letter of these batteries, but you don't know how to play the piano! That would have been pretty cute, though. Oh, that would be just the thing, wouldn't it? Some kind of eerie, lovely sonata to really set the tone for that adventure ahead. Something in a minor key, maybe? It's a shame that you would probably provoke a bunch of monsters to eat you. Also, you can't really play the piano. This piece was too depressing, so you gave it a nice refinishing. If your pa has a problem with it, he's welcome to say so the next time he's actually around. You wonder if you could be driving by then. To college? Where you teach because you are an adult and 20 years have passed? I love this fucking wolf. Alright, let's be gay for a moment. The ladies in these paintings are eerily beautiful. Although maybe everyone would look like that in blue. The lamp, goodness. You'd like to meet the lady who modeled for it someday. Gosh. Yeah, she's a bit gay. She's a gay girl. We're gonna meet a gay girl. Her name's Gay Girl. It's fine. This lamp makes you blush brighter than the lamp itself. You wouldn't mind dancing with this lady one bit, if only she were a lady and not a truly tacky lamp. Homestuck always was. You don't want to unsteady her, although it'd be only fair since she's definitely unsteady to you. This heirloom has a lot of secrets. This lamp doesn't. A little rude, Joey. God. Where would you put it? An idea springs to mind, then you blush all over again. Joey. It plainly has a power cord. You've always enjoyed this painting, particularly because the lion looks so alive. Whoever painted it must have a very good imagination. Either that or they painted it very, very fast. John Egbert never killed homeless people. His atrocities were much worse. Boy, your pa really gets inventive with the taxidermy, huh? What a ghoul. Alright, that's the end of the hall. A lot of these ladies were apparently your mom's friends. You should look them up sometime. You may, avoid mentioning that your pa had blue-only portraits made of them. Although they were friends, if they were friends with your mom, they must have had to deal with your pa on occasion, so it would probably come as no surprise. I can use these on it. No, I can't. That's just a glitch. Your ballet is like this bear clock. Precise and fierce. I do not think John Egbert would do that with a can of beans. I think John Egbert would give a can of beans to the mayor, and I think that's pretty clear in canon. Spelled with a can. He makes a pretty good metronome. Something about this key and clockwork is so compelling to you that it almost distracts you from the Frankensteinian winged bear. When is it time for Pogs? Barely ever. It's powered by that pendulum. Wow, look at it go. Oh, this is spooky. You don't know what may be lurking in the dark if there is something, like, say, that horrible thing that chased you all the way to the door of your room. You don't want to agitate it with frivolous tapping. You always look before you leap. And until you get the power back on in this room, you're not sure what you'd like to maybe be leaping in, what you'd maybe be leaping into, or onto or into. Like, say, a snake monster's hungry mouth, for instance. You take this opportunity to see if your beautiful heirloom glows in the dark. But alas, it doesn't. There could be something awful lurking in here. Like that snake thing, but you're not sure you want to draw it out with a treat. There could be something awful lurking. You chuck a pog into the darkness. You don't hear it land, but then again, you weren't really listening for it because you don't really care. Oh no, John Egbert's father dies. It's tragic, but also everyone dies, right? That's how it works. It's way too dark to find the battery slot on anything in here. Assuming... Oh, he doesn't have a grandfather. He has a grandmother, though. Assuming such a thing even exists. In darkness, you mean. Or on an object in the darkness, obviously. Ugh. This is like creeping you out, and you're just rambling to yourself, like you usually do, honestly. That's not secret lore. You shush. Alright. Just as you passed into the living room, pulling the door shut behind you, it shuddered as something heavy and wet slammed against it from the other side. I can't see anything in the trophy room. It's way too dark. Odd. Rest of the house navigable? Over. Considered utilizing flashlight? Over. You mean the one you filled with your pogs? That flashlight? Joey, please. Over. No use dwelling on the past. Over. It doesn't matter anyway. Something's blocking the door to the trophy room now. Something? Over. Yeah, I'm not sure what. Strange. Now, for now, recommend focus on restoring power before sun sets completely. Over. Oh, geez, you're right. Okay. I'll do that. Thanks for the reminder. Need electricity to retrieve key anyway. Over. What? Can't discuss over unsecure channel. Over and out. Any hot tips for getting the power back on? Power outage seems to grant invaders significant advantage. Over. That's not really a tip. It's more like just an explanation for why I'm trying to do it. Not sure what to tell you. Circuit breaker probably in basement. Over. See, that was very helpful. Thanks. Doing my best. Over and out. That sound. The sound you've heard since you've entered the kitchen grows louder as you approach. That awful static is like nothing you've ever heard, and you want to go back to not hearing it as soon as possible. You turn the radio off. It's off and it'll stay that way. The babysitter is just really atrocious taste. You're only 14 and even you can tell this is just really crummy. It's the tuner. It's for tuning the radio. Yep. By golly. You've cranked it all the way down to try and stop that awful noise. You crank it a little harder and oops. You might have broken it. Actually, you're okay with that. The radio is clearly, although weirdly, functional. Despite not being plugged in, you might be onto something here. Pop it open. You pop open the battery compartment. Okay, good. If this radio didn't need batteries to make those noises, you'd have to upgrade the Spookitude to business class Spookitude, and frankly, you can't afford that. Jackpot. D cells. You can never have too many batteries, and never in too many sizes either. You toy with the idea of putting the Pogs here as a prank on your brother. He'll be all, where are the Pogs? At tactical disadvantage, without them request return, over. And you'll be all, what Pogs, Jude? By the way, could you turn on the radio? And he'll be all, seems non-functional, investigating, over. Update, Pogs inside's been schooled by the master again, over. It's bulletproof. It's perfect. In fact, it's too good. You will keep it all to yourself, like a rare pearl that is never spoiled by the opening of the oyster. Classic Joey. You can't use batteries of different sizes together. You're playing with fire, or at the very least, electricity. Another electric device successfully powered through clever manipulation of resources in your immediate environment. You are on fire. With your flashlight fully functional and in fit fighting form, you feel significantly better equipped to handle most low-light environments. And also to beat the bejesus out of any of these creeps that get too close. Although that's a last resort, of course. If you run down the battery, you have no idea where you'll get more. Better save it for when you really need it. Alright, let's canvass this room. This all looks very fun. Okay. The power is off, and as such, your fax machine is basically useless. This is an unacceptable state of affairs. You'd love to send a fax to some rube, but it's just not possible without any power. Which is just as well, considering now is a terrible time for surreal pranks. The battery-powered fax machine had its season in the sun, and that season was called the 80s. You are an 80s kid, so you love to reference things like fax machines with nostalgia, even though you obviously still have a fax machine right here in your kitchen. Decade-based identity can be a tough row to hoe. No power, no faxing of pet treats. Yep, the power failure is literally the only obstacle to that activity. Try as you might, you cannot use the green key to access the innards of this fax machine. You doubt there's anything important in there anyway. Probably just gears and ink. Well, you can't very well dance to the fax machine if the power is off, can you? Be sensible. Your babysitter told you that if you put a dead battery in the fridge, then wait 3 to 7 days, then take it back out, it'll still be a dead battery, but it'll be sorta wholesome. No. You aren't sure she was actually telling you this, if you're being honest. She was kind of staring off into space with an empty bottle in her hand. Not even the fridge can make Pogs cool. Oof. That one wasn't your best work. Nah, they'll keep okay at room temperature. Boy, solving the mystery of your heirloom is turning into a real cold case? Oh, no. You're gonna like how the batteries go. The batteries have a much more interesting ending. Trust me. Your tap achievements don't lend themselves to fridge front commemoration. As a dancing partner, he's unfortunately a little frigid. You visualize all the delicious items that could be in the cool embrace of the refrigerator, but are not. It's empty. Food shopping has become sporadic of late. Turns out tapesy babysitters are fairly bad at responsibilities. The backyard used to be so much more awesome before the monsters showed up. It doesn't even rattle. For a door with no lock and a big dog-sized hole in it, that's surprisingly secure. You really don't want to go out there right now. Tempting though it is to go rake more leaves. Ah, the struggle of keeping a monster-bothered leaf pile of the monster-bothered leaf pile enthusiast. You keep meaning to start a zine. You're agile and graceful, but you barely escaped the backyard with your skin still on your body. You're not in a hurry to brave that crucible again. These batteries are huge. As far as you know, they don't fit anything but the universal remote. But hey, the night is young. Yeah, alright, No, this door doesn't have a lock. None of the entrances to your house do, actually. You guess you're lucky this is usually such a safe little town. If you were going to beckon your dog with a pet treat, you'd at least use the doggy door, but you'd actually prefer she stay in the relative safety of her doghouse than try to brave the crossing. These little garbage chips would be no defense against the monsters if you open this door. Maybe you could rig up some kind of trap to shock the monsters when they tried to turn the knob? This is stupid. Your sweet, loyal dog loves that flap. Jude used to like it too when he was younger. He still likes it. You might be able to execute a penche forward roll through that flap, but that would be just a graceful way to announce. To every monster in the backyard that dinner was being served, like the ringing of a dinner bell with your dismembered leg as the ringer. It makes for a sad little curtain, but you might give the dog flap its moment in the limelight. There's no lock on the doggy door. It's not even a door, really. It's more like a turgid flap. You would try to summon your precious dog for support, but your precious dog is currently cowering in the doghouse. You can see her through the window. You'll let her stay there, where it's safe? Safer, anyway. Can't decide which of these overwrought pog designs deserve to be flung out of the dog flap more. The flaming skull eating an 8-ball, or the flaming 8-ball eating a skull. Either Jude finds these designs more appealing than you do, or he keeps some of these filler pugs as strategic caches to bolster his pog strategies. Possibly both? Possibly both. Yeah, no worries. This thing usually operates by your big galoot of a dog shoving your goofy snoot through it. As such, it needs no batteries. Gosh, you really love your dog. Look, you're not saying you never have home-cooked meals. Your babysitter is a pretty good chef, even. It's just, well, none of you like doing dishes. And the nice thing about takeout is you can just eat it right out of the boxes and then throw the boxes away. Of course, none of you really like taking out the trash either. There are monsters out there, watching, working up an appetite. Alright, how many more objects are there in the room to click on before I leave? You're even out of dog food? Things really have gotten desperate. You guess you can't blame your babysitter for running off to the store for groceries at what was retrospectively the worst possible time. The tube highway that Jude's pet uses to get around the house. You haven't seen it tonight, fortunately. Oh yeah, thanks for coming by. Have a good night as well. Nice to meet you. Feel free to come by other times. This isn't the only thing I do. I also stream games and stuff, but this is more of a reading game. I'm just doing this for my voiceover. So, hope you have a good night, Nezred. Thanks for coming by. Indeed. Feel free to, you already got the follow. If that does notifications or whatever, I'm trying to stream as much as I can this week to get back into it. And I'm going to be aiming for Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays or Sundays. I can't really decide on which, maybe both. For the foreseeable future. So feel free to stop by whenever you get the chance. I'll be around. Thanks for coming by, and it was nice to meet you. Look, a shaker full of season all magic spice mix. Your babysitter's a terrible cook, but she dumps the stuff all over everything, and it actually tastes pretty good. Maybe it really is magic. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. It helps with getting the viewer count up so I can get the affiliate status sooner. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And I hope you have a wonderful night. I've also friended you on Discord if you haven't checked, so feel free to hit me up whenever. Have a good night. With all those monsters out there, you think you'll leave it shut. Also, you don't actually know how to open this window short of breaking it. Okay, so that's the items. Let's run through. The little patch of sunlight through this window really does look like a spotlight, doesn't it? But are you ready for the spotlight? You feel, as you often do, like you're still nervously waiting in the wings. Is today the day you take the stage? Are those slavering beasts to be your first real audience? Well, if a ballet is to be the hymn of wrath, let's dance. Not much to dodge here except the typical takeout box on the floor. You avoid it with your typical easy grace. You have to admit, Jude's pet is pretty graceful. Disgusting, but graceful. You gracefully avoid the few stale and scattered kibbles on the floor, as you gracefully do everything. You probably don't even need to bother mentioning it, which is why you usually don't. Whatever you're trying to do would probably be a lot easier if you just picked up the spice mix first. That's gonna save me a lot of interactions, thank God. You're likely to shred your feet to pieces if you try to use this mess as a stage. The sink is full of dirty dishes. Someone should clean these up. No way. No way. You did that last time. It's Jude's turn now. You know what? After he completely ditched you for the treehouse earlier, maybe it can be Jude's turn for quite some time. This place is enough of a mess without sending shards of glass of porcelain everywhere. Looks like this bag of dog food is tapped out. Okay, you get to say that one time. This would bring Jude's pet in a hurry, which is the last thing you need right now. Or ever. And no thanks. There's already one on the floor. Isn't that enough box mayhem for one room, Joey? Just in case Jude is watching you through the windows, you do a quick little dance to let him know you're fine and that there's nothing to worry about. A performance hidden in a performance. You could scratch the window, but it's just about the only thing in this kitchen that isn't a mess. So why not leave it be? Nobody out there to tempt with treats except your frightened dog and a whole bunch of monsters. Okay, so not nobody exactly, but nobody's who's getting through this window. You flip a pog at the window. It bounces off and lands in dirty dishwater. Dishwater. No great loss. It had a GoBot on it. You don't need batteries to enjoy the sunset, Joey, even if there are monsters outside. Ugh, Gen Xers. You debate whether to comment on the possibility of using battery acid to clean the dishes or to wryly suggest that the rotting food might be giving you off some kind of chemical energy. But neither bit really grabs you, so you just move on. Pets will take these treats right out of your hand, or even better, you can throw them right into their mouths. Dirty dishes that have been sitting out for days don't even need to enter the conversation. Dirty dishes and dirty discs. A match made in hell right here in your kitchen. The heirloom. The only thing you really have of your mom's. You think you'll just throw it down the garbage disposal. Nah, of course not. But geez, you can't shake this weird feeling you have about it today. You hold it tighter. These boxes are pretty greasy. You don't think putting the batteries in them would be good for whatever you tried to put them in later, but you actually had a good idea. You really need cylinders to properly store pogs, like a flashlight, or oh! That's what those dang Pringles cans Jude leaves around upstairs are. The possibility that those cans are all filled to the brim with pogs chills you like the cold wind of another world. Takeout treats for pets is a pretty cute idea, you gotta admit. If veterinarian ballerina tap dancer doesn't pay the bills, you've always got boutique delivery pet treats to fall back on. It's a $1 million idea. You wonder, if your mom were still around, would you eat less takeout food? Is wondering that sexism? You don't know the answer to either question, so you put your heirloom back in your pocket. The bag of dog food is already unlocked, and alas, utterly plundered. It's empty. Thankfully, you have your pet treats as backup, but you've got to deal with this pretty soon. Pet treats alone do not a balanced pet diet make. Oh, your dog has much better taste than that. Batteries aren't good for dogs. They aren't good for people either, or the environment. All batteries are good for is powering the many, many devices you rely on for a level of luxury you take absolutely for granted until the minute the batteries run out. Ugh, that thing moves under its own power. Between the pogs, the gross pet, and the paramilitary conspiracy stuff, Jude has a lot of strikes against him in the salvageable male category. No, these aren't for Jude's pet. It has a very specific diet. How can you be so disgusted by Jude's pet and love this key so much? Well, because they're nothing alike, not in the slightest. Let's get this magic spice mix. Of course, everybody knows there's no such thing as magic. It's all faked with chemicals and stuff. Still, those chemicals are delicious. A shaker full of season all magic spice mix. This doggone power adds the taste of flavor to every bite. A light touch is everything, in the kitchen and on stage. You don't really have any strong feelings about trying to use your spice mix with your tap dancing or whatever, so you're just gonna list some words that might either be spices or tap dancing terms. Ready? Okay. Bomberche. Grapevine. Tanglefoot. Riffle. Cubanola. Now, how many of those were tap and how many were spice? Give up? All tap! Tap dancing is wild. Your precious heirloom is already quite magical, thank you, and you have no desire to eat it. Nah, they're already irresistible to pretty much all animals. Why gild a lily? You don't hate pogs because they're bland. That would be a relief. They're so in your face and intense and radical, you can't stand them. Turned 12 already, Pogs. The mysterious chemical processes that produce power from the silver nubs of these batteries. They don't need any assistance from your sweet or your savory. That would probably freak Jude's pet out pretty bad. You don't like that thing, but you're not cruel. You're even out of dog food? Oh, nope. Even if there were dog food in there, that's bound to be a bad move. A dog's sensitive sniffer would get overwhelmed by the potent flavor sensations contained in this tiny shaker. When there was food in these, maybe, although that would have been kind of gross. Just dumping dry spice on already prepared Chinese food. You'll suggest it to Jude next time. This usually goes on the food when you're cooking it, not into the crusty sink remnants 3 days later. But hey, it's an unusual day, so you give the remnants a dusting. Spice mix smacks him against the window and settles over the dishes. You didn't accomplish anything, but you did make an effort. You sprinkle some spice mix across the threshold, hoping to mask the human scent in this house from reaching the monsters outside. None of them seem to have any eyes, which your junior veterinarian's training tells you they primarily rely on smell and hearing to track their prey. That would upset your dog's sensitive sniffer when she tried to use the very door she installed for her ease of access. Not only she looks to be in not that she looks in any hurry to be using it, currently being occupied with cowering in her doghouse and such. Hey, whoa now, you're not throwing away the spice mix. It can improve any food. All you need is any food. You're not sure why the trash is piled next to the fridge. Even animals know better than to let their food fraternize with their waste. You refuse to contaminate the highest art there ever was by performing it on top of actual garbage. Of course, by even contemplating it, have you made an artistic statement that already incorporates garbage, or at least the concept of garbage, as an intractable element in your tableau? There's a lot to think through here. Dangerous questions lead to dangerous answers. A great way to smash down the cans. But it's best to do that before they go in the bag. Plus, you're pretty sure that there's probably some empty bottles in there. Glass bottles in there? From your babysitter. It's your precious heirloom, your mom left it to you, yada yada. Look, you know you're not gonna really throw this thing away, so it's hard to muster up outrage at the hypothetical idea that you were maybe about to do so. Not while there's still cute pets out there who deserve treats. I ate all of them. Oh, it's really tempting. Maybe once you deal with these monsters, that can be your reward. They've still got some juice, and besides, that's not how you're supposed to dispose of batteries. This spice mix is pretty good, but it can't do much for the flavor of baking soda and a single molding orange. You briefly consider sprinkling some magic spice mix on your powerless fax machine to bring it to life, but it's not quite magical enough to do that. This mummy is currently blocking your access to the rest of the house. He has been ever since your pa left him here mere months ago. Yeah, not a lot of chance of you ever being able to move Pharaoh Napoleon over here. Whatever's keeping this fella from rotting, it seems to be doing the trick on its own. But the minute he starts to go bad, you'll be ready to spice him. Spice him till he's fragrant. Yeah, he may look a fine piece in his linens and his pauldrons and his sunrise-looking hat and his tight pants, but does this chump even know what a battery is? Did he ever? No. No, he didn't. You try to slip one in his pocket, but the pants are too tight. Jeez, just look at them. Like they're painted on. Like, wow, what were you doing? If you create an association in your dog's mind between mummy and food, you're gonna walk in here one morning to find a heap of linen and chewed on bones with a silly hat perched on top. Hmm. You wonder which one is older. Even though you know your heirloom is pretty old, it doesn't show any signs of wear whatsoever. It looks like it could have been made today. Hmm. That'd shake this mummy. Napoleon. Guy right out of his busy aesthetic. That would be one way to get past him, but it would make an awful mess. Oh, you never dance with soldiers. They'll just seal your heart away and leave on a 3-year tour. Oh, I should, No, I can't. Okay. It's a machine designed to take your clothes and wash them. You call it a washing machine. It serves its purpose admirably on the rare occasion a human being is willing to cooperate. You usually dry your ballet slippers on cold, because then you don't put them in the dryer, which is easy to remember, because you don't have one. The rhythmic rumbling does make a beat that you could maybe dance to, if the power isn't out. All neat and folded. Just kidding, this is obviously dirty. You always check your pockets for priceless, irreplaceable heirlooms before you do the laundry. They just dissolve, and wouldn't that be a waste? How could you look a hungry pupper in the eye after you've frittered away your treats on a washing machine science project? Not even science, really, just foolishness. The art on these is surprisingly durable. You guess it's so kids can click and slam their trash discs at each other without rubbing the Power Rangers off of them? The washing machine wouldn't even make a dent. By the time a battery needs to be washed, you should probably just be throwing it away. By which you mean dropping it off at one of the designated battery disposal sites in your area. Because that's definitely what you should do. Yep. Spice mix doesn't go in the washing machine. You don't need to be told this. Yeah, just a light dusting of spice mix before it goes in the wash. You know what they say, the best time to sin is right before you go to confession. A dirty sock full of batteries could actually do some pretty serious damage, but a flashlight full of batteries can do even more, especially when wielded by Joey Claire extraordinaire. When you do laundry, you separate the whites from the colors, but pogs are white on one side and colored on the other. You realize you're just making nonsense connections to distract yourself from the power being out in the creepy basement full of your dad's crappy garbage and the literal monsters in your house, and why isn't there anyone here to help you? Why do you have to be the grown-up through all of this? Where's the life you were supposed to have? Oh, look, this pog has a lizard on it. You have a shirt with a lizard on it. Shirts go in the laundry. Of course, you'll just... Oh, for a second it kind of looked like there was already a teddy bear in there. No such luck. You give it a little polish with a relatively clean-looking sock. Shining like a diamond now. This pile is a little too soft and unsettled for your powerful hot stepping to have any effect. Unlike that heap of boxes on the far wall, those were made to be tap-tumbled. Yeah, they could usually use washing, but you could use washing them more. It's way too dark in here to turn your flashlight off. Your pa brought this home as a souvenir. There's nobody inside it. It's kind of like a metaphor, you guess? Hey, you're not sure you want to start down the road of analyzing your life as if it were a work of fiction. Pa loves his blue ladies portraits so much, he keeps redundant backups scattered around. Because it's okay if you ignore something that's supposedly precious to you as long as you're paying attention to something that's kind of similar in another location, right? You decide not to pull on that psychological thread because you have important work to do. Who needs that crappy old blowhard anyway? A souvenir from your pa after his trip to Hawaii. He's been exploring the Pacific a lot lately for some reason. Or so he mentioned offhandedly a few years ago. You assume he's still doing that due to you not having any fresher data, or particularly caring one way or another where the hell he is. I love how there's a Typheus back there. No need to buy their alliance with costly spices from the Far East. This chivalrous warrior is sworn into your service long ago. Unfortunately, they can't fight very well due to their inability to walk or move or really do anything besides be an empty suit of armor. But they're fiercely loyal in their own way. Make no mistake. Any batteries that would move this tall drink of metal would have to be like Z cells. At least. Also, its foraging predates battery-powered locomotion of suits of armor. So does its foraging predates battery-powered locomotion of suits of armor. So does yours, come to think of it. You slot one in a gap. You slot one in through a gap in the armor. You expect it to fall and to make a soft plink sound, but the sound it makes can only be described as the sound a pog makes when a creeped-out kid slots it into a gap in an empty suit of armor left in the basement years ago by her now absent father. You wouldst offer this tough customer a pet treat? Forsooth, insult a knight at your peril. Or like whatever you guess, it's not like they have a sword. You're just trying to keep it light, just doing a little light goofing. A treasured, mysterious heirloom like this is exactly what knights should be either defending or questing after, you think. Although you guess those two groups of knights might disagree on a few key issues, you also think after the first thing you thought. Huh. Solid as a rock. You expected it to rattle a little at least, but you guess you're nothing compared to a fire-breathing lizard. Which is certainly not a thing that is real. Those are fake for sure, forever, and also in the past. All fake as heck. Well, they've got the legs for it, even if they've been trained, you think they might be a little rusty. You pirouette for the hula girls. They stare at you unmoved, but also unliving. You do a quick tap routine for the hula girls. No response, but hey, did that pile of boxes against the wall just shift a little? Wait, just what? Just jabber in the belly button or something? Wait, where did that come from? Weird. This basement is weird, and you don't want to be in it anymore. They aren't pets. They're Okay, well, they're not that either, obviously, but they also aren't dolls. Or if they are dolls, why are they so big? They frankly creep you the heck out, and that's why they're down here. Pogs, or milk caps. The game Pogs are an in-your-face corporate branding of Pogs, or milk caps. The game Pogs are an in-your-face corporate branding of actually originated in Hawaii. That isn't Hawaii's fault, though, as far as you know. You're pretty sure that ukulele is acoustic. Don't waste your magic spice mix on these hula girls. Their zesty island flair requires no supplement of flavor. Your babysitter sometimes cracks into your paw's special reserve, and she tends to do it down here so you and Jude don't see. You aren't really sure what to say about it, or if you even have any business saying anything about it at all. Ballet demands precision and grace not accessible to the inebriated. Also, you're 14. You don't want to send that hot cup of negligence clattering all over the place, do you? That was really mean. She really is a great babysitter. You're just in kind of a crappy mood today. Yeah, you know your babysitter tries her best, and her best is usually pretty wonderful. She's really sweet and cool and, like, super smart. But yeah, it'd be nice if your mom was still around. They just dissolve, probably. Just a couple of shameful habits. That wouldn't be good for the batteries, you think. But you're not a chemist or mixologist. It wouldn't really change much. You're pretty sure your babysitter already spiced this up enough, if you know what you mean, which you do, unfortunately. You sprinkle a little on the pile. Astonishingly, it remains sturdy. Electricity is what you need, yeah. But you can't get to the dang circuit breaker with this resilient stack of junk in the way. If only you had some way to unsettle it. Think, Joey, think! Better step up your game. With your paw's strange affinity towards the Betty Crocker brand ever apparent, this musty old junk mainly consists of all sorts of cooking implements, ranging from the familiar to the enigmatic. Really now, you can tell what a whisk is for, but some of this stuff looks downright unethical. It's also in your way, you can't reach the circuit breaker. Totally unmoved. You'll need to step a little livelier to get this sturdy stack out of the way. Try to move one box and the whole pile is liable to come tumbling down on you. You need to find some way to get them all moving at once, shake them up somehow. A controlled tumble. That's the ticket. This is exactly why you were keeping your heirloom in your room in the first place. Your pa has a habit of moving things to the basement or the attic en masse whenever he blows into town, just to make room for a bunch more junk. Leaving any kind of food around disused piles of cardboard is kind of like drawing a summoning circle if what you're trying to summon is rats, mites, and cockroaches. Wait, summoning? Are these monsters magic? Is magic real? Pfft. No way. No way in the world. Guess. Maybe? Even your heftiest slammer wouldn't tip this stack. But you think back to how you got these pogs. Weren't they in another box you were having trouble with? How'd you solve that problem? You already know the answer to these questions, of course. You're just trying to pretend you're still on track to cover up this humiliating pog solution gaffe. Your circumstances are known to me, and I am not unsympathetic to them, but you currently fall outside my sphere of influence. Be patient. From my perspective, it doesn't make a great deal of difference whether you pass through your immediate difficulties breezily or through tremendous tedious effort. As such, my motivation for assisting you directly is currently non-existent. You did all the dancing you need to do vis-a-vis getting the power turned back on. Maybe try using your arms? Specifically your hands, more specifically on the circuit breaker. Sorry for the attitude, you're just getting severely creeped out still. You already danced them bad old Crocker boxes out of the way. Just use the circuit breaker and you're home free. Maybe it's because you grew up in a house where nobody really cooks, but you have no idea what to do with these cooking implements. Food, the great mystery. Path to the circuit breaker, it's pretty clear now. Nothing really stopping you, doing something with that. What Tap has done, ballet cannot undo. Oldest rule in the book. You danced that stuff into the corner, which was improbable enough, and now you want to dance it back into your way? Come on, kiddo, you tell yourself. These antics are wearing thin. Just get the power back on. In another life, you might have taken up the spatula instead of the slipper. Hard to imagine, but hey, so are monsters, and with dawning dread, you begin to suspect that those might possibly be a little bit real. No dice. Maybe this box pile isn't precarious enough to tap dance into an avalanche. Your mom was a heck of a cook, you've been told, but none of this stuff is hers. You guess it's Pa's, but why? Why does a man who never so much as boiled water or fed his kids own a bunch of branded cookware? A mystery, another crappy mystery about your crappy Pa. They're ready for plating as is. Pets aren't that particular. You don't ever have to allumette a pet treat. Pets are pretty lowbrow when you get right down to it. They could serve as little plates or coasters, you guess, in a pinch. There might be a battery-powered turkey carver or something in here. You can defend yourself. Wait. Betty Crocker is like baking. The best you're going to find is a battery-powered auto whisk. You'll stick to your flashlight and your footsies. Oh, definitely. All that's missing is, some food. Clogging up the circuitry with sweet, savory spices seems like a great leap backwards in your personal quest to get the power turned back on. It needs no batteries. Just gotta go for this, throw that switch. Go for it. You don't need to flip a pog to flip the circuit breaker. You just need to flip the circuit breaker. Flip the circuit breaker, Joey. Flip the circuit breaker. Sure. Fine. Okay, you'll leave one in the box. Just flip the breaker, okay? You're getting pretty creeped out down here. You may have mentioned this already. It's not locked, and even if it were, that would be a pretty anticlimactic answer to the what the heck is this thing riddle. You cleared the boxes with your fancy footwork, not just give the circuit breaker a tug or whatever. You flip the breaker, and... Strife! Shuffle and scoot. Hot steppin'. The room where it slappins. Disobedient serpent. Oregano mercy. Hope's dashed. The room where it slappins. Yeah, okay. I've already gotten that. You've got no chance of beating this thing. You gotta get away. Step on it. Assault and battery. Shocking failure. Let's do lunge. Check, please. Pirouette and bop. Pirouetter luck next time. Snakes for the memories. Lego of the past. Time to slam. Slam slunk. The room where it slappins. Peace treaty. Condition untreatable. Snakes for the memories. Too precious to weaponize. Pirouette and bop. Pirouette or luck next time. Gotta hand it to you. Legger luck next time. Graceful abscond. Prima abscond, Joe. Better not tempt fate. You just barely escaped that serpent. You mean snake. You mean monster. It's just a monster. Snakes don't have legs. It has a ton of legs. Way more than you even. You're more like a snake than it is. Okay, you've gotten away from your original point a little, which is that you're not going back down there. Power back on. You're doing your psyops or you're doing or psyops of encroaching forces. Over. Give you back light only to snatch it away. Described hypothetical, very cruel. Dealing with sick operators. Over. No, it was just me. Criminy, Jude. That snake monster is down to the basement, by the way. I managed to get past him, but we'll probably have to deal with that at some point. Second counter with said serpent, correct? Beast wily, but sister already established superior wiliness attribute. Over. Hey, thanks. I think. Trophy room should be trivial obstacle. Over. What? Add a key, Joey. Eyes on the prize, keep me in loop. Over and out. You stick some pogs inside the fax machine, dial a random number, and wait for the machine to finish sending the fax. There! Now someone has a black and white printout of your brother's crummy pogs. Thank goodness you can put that on your headstone. You're about to fax a picture of Spice to some random person, but you worry it might be hard to collect the spices again afterwards, so you reconsider. Phew! You very nearly did something kind of ridiculous and time-wasting. Bullet dodged. It's already humming away, drunk on its fresh infusion of restored power. Great work, Joey. Beep, boop, beep, boop, 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 beep. And there, you faxed a pet treat to a random person. You hope it was someone with a dog. Try as you might, you cannot use your heirloom to access the innards of this fax machine. You doubt there's anything important in there anyway. Probably just gears and ink. You type out a quick fax and do a weird little dance to the horrible sounds it makes when it sends. Wow, this is probably the weirdest thing you've done in recent memory. Congratulations! Though the fax machine, singular, has been restored to life by you flipping the circuit breaker, you have a feeling that you are in the twilight years of the fax machine in general. This premonition pervades your entire being, tinging your moments with poignancy and the smell of old toner. These used to be stacked neatly on the shelves, but your big dog came clambering through and slammed right into them. They tumbled everywhere. That was about 3 years ago. You aren't great housekeepers. Easier to just walk around them. They're already pretty cluttered. These used to be stacked neatly on the shelves, but your big dog came clambering through and slammed right into them. They tumbled everywhere. That was about 3 years ago. You aren't great housekeepers. Nothing in these about weird heirlooms. You've checked. Whoever made this mess definitely doesn't deserve a treat. Not a great place for a slam sesh. The terrain is way too varied. Looks like someone came charging through here already. Probably your dog. Books, the spice of life. Of pretty dull lives, actually. You hate to lean on this pun, but this lamp is already pretty spicy. This thing had a few too many cooks in the kitchen already. You feel no need to spice things up by ruining this massive antique with flavor powder. It would not only be unpractical to kick this poor creature up a notch with the magic spice mix, it would also be woefully disrespectful. Are we talking about kicking it up a notch? BAM! It's not made of real beans. None of them are. Not even the one in your bedroom. You'd sprinkle some light grit on your pa's dumb mega remote, but you do actually use this thing occasionally. A lot more than he does, really, by dint of him never being around. The entranceway is dusty enough. You don't even have a mat to wipe your feet on. You and Jude just trundle in from outside every day, shoes filthy, tracking dirt all over these beautiful rugs. A tragedy. Your head is already swimming just from standing downwind of the rank miasma that surrounds this awful thing. You really don't think its flavor needs any strengthening. The handheld gaming console has already been thoroughly seasoned by Jude's Cool Ranch fingers. Or is it called Cooler Ranch now? Gross, either way. Reminder that your magic spice mix is not some festive assortment of exotic music, but a mixture of actual spices that have no mix dirtying up your cassette player. There should probably be some wisecrack here about how combining the spice mix with the TV gets you the spice channel, but you barely even know what that is, so there isn't. There's some pretty spicy books in this pile. They're your paws, and you definitely haven't read them. Nope. They're just full of helpless, beautiful women swooning all over brave adventures. And why would you care about that? You wouldn't, so you don't. No, it's just a statue. It doesn't do anything else, it just exists. It's not like a lamp. Ah, if only this were a real snake. Then you could chop it up, add the spice mix, and fry it in a pan with some fricasseed crawdads. And if only you were some kind of swamp person so that didn't sound incredibly disgusting. Things already got pretty dicey for poor Belinda. Spicy and dicey would be a bridge too far. She's a statue, not an action figure, and action figures don't usually require batteries anyway. Now, playsets. But even then, it's just for the frills. Lights, sounds, voice modulator that makes you sound like a skeleton monster, etc. Nope, still unsavory. He looks like he might enjoy it, honestly. The door's locked, so if you slip these under there, there'd be no getting them back. You try to dream up a spice prank to nail Jude with, but the door to his room is locked and Jude is in his treehouse, so any prank you could set up out here in the hall would almost certainly be discovered before he entered. Also, you are at a very real risk of being devoured by man-eating monsters at any moment. Just, a reminder. Light bright is plugged into the wall. There's an outlet right there, placed between the two doors, which is why the light bright is there in the first place. It's all perfectly reasonable, and it wouldn't be helped by batteries. Not in the slightest. The light bright pegs shouldn't be consumed under any circumstances, even if they have been deliciously seasoned. That's why it's for ages 4 and up only. Wow, 4 actually seems kind of low. Like, if you're really thinking about it, these things basically look like candy and they're the size of a pencil point. They're like a 10 on the choking hazard scale. That's graded like the Richter scale, so a 10 is crazy high. Light bright is actually super dangerous. Who knew? This is a cardboard box that has been primarily used to store a flashlight, pet treats, and your shoes. Even magic spice mix wouldn't be enough to make it a meal. That would have been a pretty sensible place to keep them, yeah. No looking back though, Joey. That's not how puzzles get solved. Between the tassels, the animal skin, and the rakish angle of the lampshade, you'd say this whole scene is already pretty darn spicy. Maybe even pushing the boundaries of good taste. Yet another excellent place to keep batteries if those were a thing anyone ever owned in the history of needing batteries being a thing. That might work if it were pepper juice, but this is a more savory blend. Also, you don't use guns. This one is just a simple pump action, as Jude has informed you. You've seen commercials for high-end water guns that actually do need batteries, which, okay, why not just use the hose at that point? This drawer is full of junk! Batteries would get lost in there and you'd never be able to find them when you need them. So par for the course, really. You just get the spicy flavored Pringles if spicy Pringles were what you were after. Dumping spice on regular Pringles seems a little extremely devastatingly depressing. This weird arrow thing is pretty inscrutable, as mysteriously haunting as it is hauntingly mysterious. One of the few things you know for certain about is that it doesn't need a thin coating of flavor dust. Whatever the heck this thing does, it apparently does it without needing batteries. Wow, look at it go. This pile of garbage sure makes for a weird cornucopia, but don't they? But you suppose it is November. You spice this weird centerpiece of detritus and give thanks that it's not just dumped in the middle of a living room or something. You just need these to come traipsing back up here as soon. You just need to come back traipsing up here as soon as you needed these. And honestly, a girl can only traipse so much in a single evening. No batteries needed. He's a pretty simple little fellow. He just exists. His 6 pairs of simple eyes detecting changes in light intensity, but not much else. Look at this little worm, sitting here halfway up the stairs. Why stop here? Come up, you lovely monster. Even the lightest dusting of the spice might set this perfect impossibility off its unlikely balance. You dareth not. It's just a simple analog door, not requiring batteries. It still vexed you, though, because it does require a key. You sprinkle a little on the doorknob and give it a good turn. It does! It doesn't matter, though, because the lock is actually a deadbolt. Nothing. Well, if it doesn't swing open for ballet, you guess you'll just have to find a key. Trying to shake the door right off the hinges with your percussive taps, eh? No dice! You're lucky you didn't fall down the stairs and break both your legs just all the way in half, each leg flying off in a different direction, completely gross. It's such a loose pile, your tap dancing would probably blast it to pieces. That sounds like an excellent way to break both your legs right next to an attic staircase without even having to fall down it. You study the slinky. Its grace, its poise. To hold that position for years, neither faltering nor giving the impression of total stillness. Always the suggestion that in the next instant it may tumble forward from potential to kinetic, melting from solid to liquid. Such as ballet. Your natural grace inspires him to immediately start spinning a chrysalis. He's gonna be a butterfly, but pronto. Trying to shake him loose, huh? No such luck. He's gripped tight. He's also placed such that if you were to tap dance near him, you'd likely break your ankle on the stairs. Clever little guy. Your percussive pitter-patter might jostle it loose. Also, you'd be at a real risk of breaking your dang neck tap dancing on the stairs like that. Alright, I'm gonna end it here for today. I managed to leave the bedroom and then make my way all the way back in full circle, because I am petulant like that. Hope you enjoy the new look. That's thanks to Ohm, also known as Busker Bailey. If you like their stuff, feel free to check them out. She's just kind of the best, and I love him very much. She also made Worm Guy. This Worm Guy, who will be featured in a video that I am procrastinating right now. In any case, alright, saving it here. I'm going to take a break. I might get people streaming later, so for now, I'm just going to head back to the main menu. If no one shows up, then I'll end the stream, and wish you a good night. And if not, then I will be back when the stream is ready to resume. In the meantime, please enjoy the stylings of Worm Guy. So, we are in the bedroom again. And I'm just going to be rubbing absolutely all of these new objects and everything. Okay. So first, you don't want to upstage their rainbow cuteness performance. They're really putting their hearts into it. Wait, hearts? I actually have to take a screenshot of that so that I can use that for a different video. Oops. Alright, so. Sorry about that. This game has a lot of Homestuck lore, and it's not really solved yet. So I'm both doing the stream as voiceover and also a bit of lore hunting. So this is how Joey performs combat. These are the Strife Abstracta. This is tap kind, this is ballet kind, this is flashlight kind. Joey won't let me use flashlight because it's a limited battery and I worked very hard to get that battery. Also won't let me use the radio because it might attract the monsters. However, I can use pretty much all of these items with each other. It's very much a point-and-click puzzle game, traditional. And it's pretty straightforward, and I'm kind of
avoiding the answer right now because I know the answer. So I'm doing all the wrong answers so that I can get all of the text and read it all out. Two of the most important lore items are, aside from these two, this key right here and this magic spice right here. Whereas these two will largely interact with the game. It's going to loop back into itself with a later iteration. And so I'm leaving behind little, like, signs of the way that I played it. Those will affect a later save. And this is a surprise tool that'll help us later. I can't explain the battery. So I've already done the battery here, and I haven't done tap here, but I have done the keys. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to do on each of these. I'll start with these, and then I'll do the other 3 on the way back. No way! You don't want to startle the nice animals, especially given their obviously incredible magical powers. Yep, ballet practice every Monday after school. Mondays are always rough. School can be kind of a drag, and going back after 2 days away from it is hard. Knowing you have ballet at the end of it helps you put a brave face on things. Yep, tap class is every Saturday morning. Your babysitter usually drives you, unless, she's not feeling well. It is Saturday morning. She drinks a bit. Talk about hot steppin'! Well, lukewarm steppin'. You sure do have a lot of girl stuff. You guess that's because being a girl rocks. You love it. You love to do ballet, and make cakes, and solve puzzles, and study medicine, and beat the bejesus out of monsters with your flashlight and sick kicks. You know, girl stuff. You do a few steps from Twirlin' Merlin, your thus far unfinished showcase of wizard-themed dancing. That was the Sorcerer's Sisson. You do a few steps from Twirlin' Merlin, your thus far unfinished showcase of wizard-themed dancing. This one's the Pyromancer's Hot Step. So, Joey is going to try and mix tap and ballet in a boundary-shatting Balap style that'll take the world by storm. But if I try to use it now, the world's just not ready yet. You don't give they don't give ballet trophies for tap dancing, but if they did, you might just win one of those trophies yourself someday. Or maybe you'll win one for your ballet. You decide to dream big. You bust out all your most illegal ballet moves on the beautiful statue. The shadow ballet against an unbeatable opponent is how raw young steppers like yourself hone your skills sharp between practices. Okay, none of that is real, but it's fun to pretend sometimes. Books on ballet tend to have a lot of very beautiful and artistic full-page pictures of ballet dancers, and lots of talk about the history of ballet, and not so much about how to actually do ballet. You gotta go to lessons for that stuff. So you do. We had a couple books on the subject, but tap dancing, the preferred hot stepping of the unpretentious working class, has largely been snubbed by the literary elite. They're a very appreciative audience, as always. Surprisingly, no one fell off the shelf this time. No response. You feel like ballet might be a little highbrow for this crowd.
You had a whole choreographed routine for the... You had a whole choreographed routine for the Clarissa theme song. 2, in fact. 1 tap, 1 ballet. But ever since the show ended last month, it just makes you sad. Oh well. Alex Mack is pretty cool too, you guess. It looks like you might miss tomorrow's episode, though. Well, whatever. The preview said it was gonna be a big dumb... it was gonna be a dumb, big dance plot. You hate those. Same thing. Interesting. She's overwhelmed by the beauty of your movements. She's definitely crying on the inside. You might look inside just to confirm it. Yep. That's one damp, salty womb. You reach inside the expectant plush canine and... Puppy Surprise is having puppies! Your secrets are safe in the loving belly of a dog. She actually came with 5 puppies, but you gave 2 away to make room for other stuff. You don't know anybody else who got 5. Some kid from school got 4 in hers, and she wouldn't shut up about it for a week. You're not one to brag, but yeah, you walked with a little spring in your step for a while after birthing that quintet of pups. Maybe you 5 puppy people are just cut from a different cloth. The bed is not a trampoline. Or a stage, you mean. It's too soft to get any good acoustics for your tapping. You guess one day you'll have to choose which dream to follow. Do you want to be a veterinarian who also dances a lot, or a world-class dancer who volunteers at an animal clinic in her spare time? You can't have it both ways, clearly. Same answer again. So Clarissa and the veterinarian's bag. Okay. When you're not actively or imminently hot stepping, your tap shoes are hanging up by the door. You know this because that's where you got them from a little while ago, and also because this is your own personal habit. Yeah, your slippers were in the hallway closet. You don't actually remember how they got there? Kinda weird, in retrospect. It's a cute idea, but babies aren't really ready for dancing, even animal babies, who are a lot more capable than, say, human babies. Human babies are kind of pathetic and helpless, all things considered. Sounds like a great way to startle some baby animals. You're having none of it. It has no effect. Maybe try tapping the keys next time instead of tapping your feet. Ballet and computers. Spend enough time with either and you'll experience a lot of clicking. Haha. In all seriousness, the sensation of clicking hips is no joke, and you're glad you've been lucky enough not to experience it in your personal ballet journey. A peanut allergy is a terrible affliction to live with. One doesn't become the prima ballerina of a world-famous dance company by sitting in beanbag chairs all day. One becomes that only by sitting in beanbag chairs after practicing for hours, and maybe doing some puzzles, and playing some video games, and checking one's sites, and, you know, you have a lot of interests, actually. Sometimes, you like to sit there and relax after a hard afternoon's practice. It's easier to relax when you're kinda worn out. Otherwise, your brain is going a mile a minute, and you have to distract yourself with puzzles or check out your sites or something like that before you start thinking about stuff that makes you sad. How about you, Sir Bappy Pawswater? Sir Bappy Pawswater disdains tap dancing, which he calls the staccato stumbling of the plebeian herd. And wow, that stings. You're good, but you're not sure you're ready to perform for such a gentle man-throw of breeding. What if he gave you a scathing review in his gossip periodical? You'd be ruined. The sill is a little too narrow for you to dance on it. Otherwise, you'd do it in a heartbeat, obviously. Same answer. It takes a graceful step to avoid tripping on these as you make your way across the bedroom. Luckily, you have grace to spare. And send him glattering? No way. Okay, that's the same. That's the same. The TV is hooked up to your SNES and nothing else. SNES? So the only music you could dance to would be video game music. Not to say you haven't, of course, it's just kind of embarrassing. What's kind of embarrassing is I forgot to start recording when I restarted. Oh well. I've got the VOD. I'll use that. That's a little embarrassing though. You could tap dance to your video games, and of course you have, but tap dancing tends to rattle the old console so much that it freezes on occasion. It's not a great tap dance accessory. It's amazing the way the publishers have been able to gracefully sidestep releasing this game in your country. You are sure that if they ever do release it, their marketing campaign will be just as graceful and not at all about stink. This game apparently has really cool music. By searching online, you were able to briefly hear a few seconds of it. The download only took you a few hours. Wow, living in the future sure is amazing. You gracefully avoid thinking about Bubsy. It is an exquisite use of your skills. No one can dance to the Bubsy theme. Not even Bubsy. He just thrashes around like a jerk and then smirks at you like he just totally blew your mind. Sometimes you hate living in the 90s. Block hustle, like ballet, is from Russia. Okay, ballet isn't from Russia, but they do a lot of ballet there, and you like to form connections between the things you're interested in, even if they are a little tenuous. Oh, the music in Block Hustle is perfect for tap dancing. But you have to play the game in order to hear it, and that's distracting. You tried having Jude play it while you worked out a routine, but he refused to play ever since he found out the game is Russian. You're a tap dancing idol, of course, after your mom, but Ginger's a close second. She's just amazing. Ballet and tap? What is this, 1937 Ginger Rogers film Shall We Dance? No, it is not. It's Star Avenue. The Bounty Hunter would be pretty excellent at any style that featured a turn into a ball in midair maneuver. And what style wouldn't benefit from such a maneuver? Why, none of them. Ballet demands strong legs. Probably even more so if those legs are covered in powerful armor. The Bounty Hunter must have very strong legs. Toned, too. She's a little gay. This movie is kind of like ballet, in that it's beautiful, and pretty long, and kind of sad, and it doesn't really make a lot of sense, and then it just ends. Also, there's a big white dog, although that similarity might be unique to your personal ballet experiences. You had a routine inspired by this movie, but it was always just way too long. You guess you could say it felt always non-stopping. No. That's not tap dance? Tap dance is great and fun, but it's like doing your taxes at church compared to what's going on that poster. Yeah, you can see some ballet influence happening there. It's sort of ballet-like from a certain angle. She's a little gay. She's a bit of a gay girl. The ballerina in this print is your inspiration. She looks so graceful and fluid. You hope to one day look like either of those things. That's obviously the wrong school of dance for this poster. You need to put on your suitable shoes for this, by which you mean to dance in front of the poster. With those checkers scattered all over the floor, you'd break your leg. Both of them, even. Probably not both legs. They don't need your help to fall. You just pull the tab on the side. So, okay, they need your help, but not your dancing. You keep your dance practice clothes in here. Good guess, you think, but that doesn't really make any sense, so you stop thinking it. You couldn't tap dance your diary open, although if you wanted, you might be able to tap dance it off the desk. If you wanted to. You don't want to, though. You're going to go ahead and head that line of reasoning off at the pass. That's not the way to open your diary. It was just an idle thought. You do need your diary key to open your diary, period. You could probably stand to write about ballet more. Then, when you're a famous ballerina, you could publish your diary to give inspiration to kids like you. That'd be a really great thing for a famous person to do, and also a nice little sideline income for you. But it'd be kind of embarrassing to have everyone read all your other thoughts and feelings. Maybe you should start keeping a second, less embarrassing, intended for publication diary. That would probably be more marketable anyway. Your mom was a great dancer. Tap, swing, ballroom, bolero, even wild experimental stuff like contact improvisation. Ballet was her passion, and she was transcendent. Your mom was, in your amateur opinion, and in the professional opinion of many experts who you very much respect, one of the greatest ballerinas who ever lived. Though she passed when you were very young, before you could ever see her dance. You have a few tapes of her performances, and you could, of course, track down more. But you know that only so many of her performances were recorded. And once you see them all, that'll be it. You won't ever see your mom doing anything that's new to you again. So you save them. If you're patient, if you're really good, and you save them for the absolute best days, the ones you want to share with her, and the absolute worst days, the days you just really, really need to see her, then you might be able to make them last a long, long time. You hope. Tap dancing actually freaks out your dog pretty badly. I've done that one. Your dog loves your ballet. They make a very good audience, as long as they don't get distracted by like a bug going by, or a distant sound that only they can hear, or any number of other things. Dogs can be pretty easy to distract. Aww. If only you'd given a treat to your dog when you had the chance. That is, another treat. More treats. Lots of treats. Treats for days. All the treats in the world. You will have another chance, of course, because your dog is fine. You just... sigh. You're a little worried about your dog out there and regretting any and all past instances of treat withholding. You've never played Pogs with your dog. That would be ridiculous. You hate Pogs. This picture of you and your dog is a little provincial, perhaps, but there's a rich comfort in such simplicities. You would hardly characterize it as bland, and as such, it needs no spicing up. Those were happier times indeed. Your mom wouldn't have liked Pogs. She had style, and grace, and taste. Wow. Rude. Neither you nor your mom look like any kind of pet. Jeez. This is a pretty obtuse way to spice up your diary. You really just gotta live a more exciting life. Although, considering the events of today thus far, you kind of wish you could go back to the bland and textureless lifestyle that left so many pages objectively a little boring. Nope. You're not writing anything in here about carrying around juked pogs. Frankly, you're already forgetting about them as hard as you can. Whoa! What are these weird garbage discs in your hand? You shove them in your pocket for later disposal. Nothing in here about all the treats you've given your dog. Outrageous! Why are diaries never useful for that kind of thing? It's always just a bunch of baloney about feelings when what you really need is pet snacks data. Sprinkling crumbled pet treats on your new desk sounds like a great way to get a bunch of new pets. Some ants. I have done this on this, right? Oh, Princess Shika sometimes dances with the animals, and sometimes she dances with her cousin, Baroness Kitsune. You aren't actually sure how they're cousins, since they don't seem to share any other relatives. But they sure do mention it a lot. That they're cousins. Especially when they're dancing real close. It's a good thing we're cousins, or this would be weird, they'll say. Mouths not moving. Oh, Princess Shika could never be a tap dancer. Her feet end in deer hooves. She just couldn't get the right percussion going with those velvety things. What if you just couldn't stop dancing? Okay, this actually is going in the evidence archive, and hopefully I'll be able to show why pretty soon. Because when I get to the attic, there's gonna be like, what, 2 more strifes until then? And also, Bro hike! Bro hike! The wind blows for thee, the birds sing for thee. Oh, Fro hike. That'd be scary, if it didn't describe your life already. Joey Claire extraordinaire. Oh, ballet is already very spooky. Like, 90% of ballets are about a doll coming to life, or a swan trying to kill a clown, or something surreal and vaguely upsetting like that. You don't let it bug you. You lose yourself in the moment. Grace and power. Light and dark. Virtue and vice. The duality of Acorn and her shadow would make for a pretty great ballet, assuming the dancers could adapt to performing in 2-person horse costumes. Clopping their hoof is how horses count. Except the titular Acorn's shadow, of course. It's too busy burning the land with galloping green flames to do horsey math tricks. You win! Tarragonically! Pretty spicy, sis. You suppose you could fit pogs into each of the little windows and make a miniature pog museum if you were so inclined. You're not, though. You're more inclined not to. They don't quite fit. Maybe you could use them to block a column, adding an extra level of strategy to the game and adding an extra layer of treat crumbs to your carpet. These are Jude's, and you don't want to give him any more reason to fail to snoop around in your room. Also, they're garbage, and you don't want them on your dresser. This isn't for putting in the dresser, it's for dressing up bland meals. That would take forever to get out. You might never be able to play Bubsy again. Okay, so this idea is not without its merits. Wow, it's the best and worst toys in the entire house. Maybe the entire world? Maybe in any world. Okay, let's not go crazy. You gently place a pet treat on the eject button and press it up and down a couple of times, making it bounce a bit. Excellent. You retrieve the pet treat. Lots of these games have cute pets in them, such as cute pets. Yes, no is one of the as cute pets. Yes, no is one of the primary criteria in your purchase matrix. Like 60% of these games are Mortal Kombat, but that's less of a game and more of a long national nightmare of excessive violence and mediocre gameplay. That would get the game all dusty, and according to the console user's manual, blowing on game cartridges is bad for them. As such, you would never do it, even when the games won't start, and that would definitely fix it, and... You know what? Fine. It is like you are Linka the Planeteer, and the fussy cartridge is a bad guy who wants to pollute the Earth for reasons that are never really explored, or something. Feels great to finally admit it. This TV is a little bland, but that's probably because it's not hooked up to cable. It's just for video games. You mush the pet treat against the TV. Mush? You like to do this when there's a cute dog in one of your games, or a cute cat, or almost any other animal, really. They don't even have to be cute. You just like doing this. Except for Bubsy. Some Pogs feature characters from TV shows, but you guess that's more expensive because a lot of them are just random garbage, as exposed to the others, which are licensed. Specific garbage. For the record, I'm doing this because I'm going to get chased by serpents, and I'm only going to get like 5 actions, if that. And I want to make sure that I get all of the stuff before then, because I'm not going to be able to. Let's see, I've done those. Okay, I guess posters. And then windows, and then on the way back. Princess Sheikah has the best treats. All of the wounded magical animal companions are so excited when she opens her treat basket galaxy and shares them with everyone. It's your favorite part besides the healing. You love the healing. No. Magical Animal Companion Heal Rescue is a Japanese Japanimation, and they do not have Pogs in Japan. You think. You haven't personally checked or anything. Sheikah would probably know how to blend this into a healing poultice, whereas you're not even 100% sure what a poultice is? Is it like a wet bandage? You're digging deep, and wet bandage is all you're bringing back. The colorful aesthetic and slightly too dark for children tone of Acorn's Shadow lends itself well to Pogs, you're forced to admit. It doesn't make you like Pogs more. It just makes you like Acorn's Shadow a little less. Acorn's Shadow would probably bite your entire hand off. Up to the elbow, probably even. If you so much as dared approach it with a treat. You'd be spurting blood everywhere, screaming like the Dickens, and the Shadow who clops would just be standing there, guzzling your hand. You're pretty sure the only spice horses like is sugar. No sugar in there. This is a savory blend, baby. They always throw some kind of spooky magic dust into the fire when they start telling their Canadian campfire spookums, but yeah, it's probably just spice mix. Still pretty dramatic, though. They've got spice covered. Nope, they don't have pogs in Canada yet. Lucky jerks. Lucky, polite, sweet, socially conscious jerks. The tale of the haunted pet treat. That's all you've got so far. You're still workshopping it. You're still workshopping it. Looking at your hot steppin' poster and then at these stupid pogs, it can be hard to believe you and your brother are actually related. You don't really dwell on it though, because you're already back to looking at the poster. Oh, it's a treat, all right, but no pets allowed. Oh gosh, you don't know if these are safe for luck dragons. Just kidding. Kidding. Everything is safe for luck dragons because they are not real, and as such are not ever in any actual danger. They would make great pets. This whole movie predated the whole Pog explosion by like a decade, so there aren't any Pogs of it. Big point in its favor, actually. Oh geez, you remember that big gross sneezing turtle who sprayed snot everywhere? He would definitely just empty his snot bladder everywhere if you got anywhere near him with this stuff. You don't know what the bounty hunter eats. Presumably some kind of futuristic goo, or maybe bugs? That's gross. You grossed yourself out a little bit, but that's fine. Kids like you love being grossed out, as advertising directed towards you has assured you. Oh, the bounty hunter just has no time for garbage discs. She's too busy being incredible, and good, and strong, and brave. The part where you get to be friends with the cute baby monster at the end was the best. To be honest, you've never actually finished this game, but you assume that the cute baby monster eventually goes off to Monster College and becomes a monster doctor. It's beautiful. Who needs spice mix when you've already got ginger? 5 husbands and no kids. Old Ginger has the right idea. No husband, huh? No kids, no stupid crap like pogs all over your nice hardwood floors. She's a treat. Oh, she's a treat, no mistake. Just look at that smile. Ah, that dress. Those legs. Oh, okay. You don't mean to be a perv, but geez, Ginger. Block Hustle looked kinda like hard candy, which wouldn't pair well with the savory, spicy blend you got shaken here. No way. Bubsy is already spicy enough. Someone was probably paid a lot of money to make sure of it. Oh, heck yeah. This is just the kind of thing you could use to fight enemies in Second Mom. You think. You still don't have a copy because it's Japan only. Sigh. Block Hustle is a much better game than Pogs, which can barely be called a game at all. Yeah, there's some Bubsies. Bubsies? In the mix. A branding synergy forged in the fires of hell. You read a rumor on the net, a ridiculous rumor, that there might be second mom Pogs. Scratch and sniff ones. You were so mad at this outrageous lie that you immediately turned your computer off without even shutting it down first. You didn't even regret it. Much. Can you make friends with the enemies in Second Mom? You hope so. A game that will let you befriend enemies instead of killing them would be just the best in your book. You're not going to encourage this guy any further. You envision a pet treat slowly, carefully descending to complete a line. The line disappears, but the treat lingers. Ain't that always how it goes? Alright, we've almost crossed the room. You sprinkle a little on the windowsill. There, that should be enough to keep out evil spirits, since the stuff is probably 30% table salt. You're tempted to dump these out the window and let Captain Planet sort it out, but what if a bird thought it was food and tried to eat it? Birds can be pretty dumb, as we'll see later. Foreshadowing is a plot device. You've hurled treats down to your dog before, but usually you open the window first. There also usually weren't any monsters flying around directly outside your window ready to swoop in and tear your face off at the first opportunity. You wave the exotic blend tantalizingly close to the expectant sniffer of Sir Bappy Pawswater, and he quite plainly goes bananas over it. Oh, he loves it. Good to know. These little relics of cultural offal are so far beneath his dignity, you are unsure he'd even perceive them. Make a little stack of them and he'd be sure to slip on the invisible hazard, possibly falling to his death. What an enticing and perplexing mystery for the Manthro Chap Justice Division. Oh, no. No. From the back of the box, the bold, invasive genetic procedures that produce the Manthro Chaps in all of their resplendence also left them with a debilitating allergy to almost all forms of sustenance. Feed your Manthro Chaps from their wet whistle flasks, or not at all, lest they suppurate, then separate. You're not 100% sure what that last part means, or if it's an actual thing your toy can do, but you are 100% sure you don't want to see it. I know what suppurate means. Do not look it up. Ugh. Never! The babies would sneeze and it would be cute, but the moms would probably get agitated over it. The momables would never let their little babies anywhere near pogs, because they would be a choking hazard, and also because the momables clearly have great taste. Your computer isn't a pet, but it is a treat. Well, sometimes. A lot of other times it's just really frustrating. You kinda tap the pet treats against the open mouths of the baby animals on the poster to simulate the process of feeding them. Tastes good, doesn't it? You're almost certainly ruining their suppers. Deal with it, moms. You wish there were some quick and easy way to buy pogs using the computer. Then you could maybe sell these for some fast cash. You don't think you should be checking out spicy websites at a time like this? Or ever, you mean? Yeah, why not? Your wardrobe could use a little spicing up. Sometimes it feels like you mostly just wear the same outfit. Always. Ah, yes. The perfect accessory. The one thing your look was missing. Some pogs! You'll make sure to put some in here, your clothes closet, just as soon as you've settled the other minor obligations you have. All your clothes have a sealed emergency pouch of pet treats tucked carefully into the pockets at all times. Except the ones you're wearing. You already gave those treats to your dog earlier to address the emergency that they looked very cute and did a nice trick. Luckily, you had these backups squirreled away in the hall closet, and in all of your other clothes in this closet. This might be useful if you need to induce sneezing in a sickly little animal, for whatever reason. Maybe just because it'd be very cute. No! That would be an outrageous violation of the junior veterinarian's oath. No pogs in this batch feature a junior veterinarian or any veterinarian, really. It's all just cartoon characters and graffiti gangs. That's a cute idea, but it wouldn't be safe. A pet might smell the treat, get all excited, and then try to chew their way into the medkit and hurt themselves. There's a little pair of scissors in there after all, and some peroxide and some gauze. None of that is good for pets to try to eat. Here you go, Clarissa. Give these to your pet baby alligator. That thing is gonna be a problem for you one day. You don't have any Clarissa pogs, sadly. Possibly because these are Jude's pogs, not your pogs. Jude is more of a Ferguson than a Clarissa, obviously. Clarissa is keeping it pretty spicy today. One episode was about her buying a bra. Wow! Jude ran out of the room with steam shooting out of his ears, but your babysitter told you not to make fun of him about it. It might improve the taste, but you'd never keep it down. She's way too big. Now one of the puppies inside. Wait, what are you saying? You would never eat one of your own sweet pupperoos? This is where you've kept some of your most precious treasures, so you're not going to be befouling it with your brother's cardboard trash discs. Except the Scully one. In she goes. You gently place a pet treat inside the cottony belly of your sweet puppy surprise. There. So much more efficient than crushing it up with your hands and trying to force it down her non-existent esophagus. Not that you'd know anything about that, of course. Beautiful. Your secrets are safe in the loving belly of a dog. Nah, they're already irresistible to pretty much all animals. Why gild a lily? Better luck next time, you suppose. Pretty crummy substitute for a sleepy time stuffed animal companion, obviously. Honestly. Especially when you have so many of those close by you already. It would probably make it taste better, but you're still not going to eat it. Heck, the spice would make cardboard taste better, but you're not going to eat that either. Getting your precious your precious shelf pals all dusty with your limited supply of spice mix sounds like an excellent use of your time. So you grab a pinch and hurl it up there. Or in that general direction, anyway. Toward that side of the room, at least. Mostly. You give Jude a lot of sass about his pogs, but you guess maybe you're a little childish with all these stuffed animals and games and whatever. Are you too old for this stuff? You actually really don't know. You guess you'd know what you were supposed to be like at your age if maybe you had more friends your own age? Or like a mom, maybe? Your babysitter tells you you're perfect. But that's what she's always said your whole life, so she's clearly not a trustworthy source, because otherwise she'd have told you what was wrong with you. Ugh. Ugh. Treats for cuties. You leave them a couple just for fun. But wait. One of those monsters smells the treat and breaks in here and thinks the meat smell is from your stuffed animals and no! No, you can't. You can't risk it. Lots of beloved pets in these books. None of them are the kinds of books where the beloved pets die, though. You can spot those a mile away, usually by the cold, mercenary glimmer of their Newberry medal. There's a poster hanging up in the library at school that says, "Reading is a real slammer." There aren't even any books on the poster. It's just a kid playing with pogs. In space. You've always been a voracious reader, but no way. Those have gotta be some pretty gammy gams, what with the dancing and the being made of porcelain instead of flesh. You think you'll pass. There aren't any trophies for being the best Pogs player. You just get to keep the other kids' Pogs, which is really more like punishment. Oh, she never indulges. That's why she's the best. Discipline. You jab the treat against the poster, leaving a little dirty mark on its surface. Hee some treats for the cute animals. This is certainly not the first time you've done this. It seems like a match made in marketing heaven, but ol' LF is pretty protective of her brand. You don't think they need any help from your magic spice mix, as they are already extremely magical. You don't really have a ton of friends besides your brother and your brother's friends, you guess? You could also count your babysitter, but that seems like a pretty big reach. So yeah, your social calendar could use a little spicing up. Nothing about Pogs on your calendar this month. Gosh, what a dork you must be. Yep, buy more pet treats is already on there. 4 times, actually. You don't ever want to run out. You guess you should really start writing a reminder to get food for yourself, too. A wizard is not a pet. It is a powerful ally, but it cannot be tamed. Like their beards, they are regal, resplendent, incurably unruly. You rifle through the pogs. No wizards, you're not surprised. Wizards are pretty out right now. It'd be a different story if he was like a mutant wizard from the future or something. They couldn't make enough pogs of him then. The small wizard has no need of your magic spice mix. He is adequately magical. This stuff is a little more spicy savory than sugary sweet, but it's a moot point since you're out of cake making stuff anyway. What a cute idea. You could warm the treats up a little bit before passing them to an excited pet. In fact, this idea is so good, you've actually done it before. You've actually had it before, and done it! Your dog gave no obvious sign that they preferred the warmed up treat, but you could tell. Oh yeah. The little light bulb cooker is too weak to function as a garbage incinerator. Oh, no. Turn the light off. There we go. Okay. This pile of garbage sure makes... Yep, I've already done that. Alright. I can move on. Look at that. Jenny being thorough. I have done spice on the door, right? Yeah, I've done the spice prank. Strife! Okay. Please excuse me. Chew to tango. Jaw ready for this? Opening course. Fletcher eyes on the prize. Okay, this one likes treats. Anyone for seconds? Make mine a double. Let's see if I have any bad options. Light on your feet. Oh. Light bite. Better luck. Biter luck next time. Oh. Tapetizer. Main roars. Biter luck next time. Too precious to weaponize. That's the obvious solution. Passion. Orange. Guava. Fruitless endeavor. Batter up. Better luck next time. Spice to meet you. Pepper luck next time. Alright, let's finish this. Treat to a pulp. Alright. Monster-inflicted death scene averted. You are unbelievably stressed out right now. Congratulations, you've ascended to rung 2. Attained rank of tail-wagging Tyro. Max HP increased by 12. Muscle increased by 7. Congratulations, you've ascended to rung 3. Attained rank of minute mammal mender. Dexterity increased by 2. Grace increased by 6. Leverage increased by 5. Congratulations, you've ascended to rung 4. Attained rank of Peppy Patterer. Mastered Noggin Bop. Hubris increased by 4. Courtesy decreased by 2. So, where's the key? In his desk or something? Would never leave critical item in such obvious location, over. Okay, but like, where did you leave it? I just had to lure a hungry monster out of here with treats, and I'm not sure how much time I have for brother-sister conspiracy capers before it comes back. If room compromise, can't discuss countermeasures over unsecured line. Ultimate puzzler skill set. Utilize puzzler skill set. Over. Ugh. Fine. Call back if assistance required. Over and out. This is exactly the kind of thing you wish wasn't in your house. Why couldn't your paw just leave their regular eyes in, and also, more importantly, leave their head attached to their body? You'd like to put something in those sockets, but what? And also, wait, why would you want to do that? That's weird. Spin. You spin the globe and watch the white beams rake across the surface of the globe. As if being dead weren't bad enough, your paw replaced his eyes with some creepy glass orbs. The light reflected in their faceted stare gives you the creeps. But are you crazy? Or is there some light reflecting off this antler too? Maybe it bears closer examination. There is something odd about the antlers. You can't quite put a finger on it. Or can you? Maybe in the literal sense? Pull. Wow. That sure did something. Jude, I can't make heads or tails of this thing. What thing? Over. I turned on a laser, but that's it? Nothing else is happening. Thought you were Puzzle Master. Was wrong, it seems. Over. Hold on, over. Believe this calls for... Burns. McGruff Crime Dog experiences trouble. Unbelievable. Over. Wait. Disregard previous burn. Superior burn formulated. Ace Ventura Pet Detective. Please respond if ice required. Over. It's a pretty good burn. Okay, that's a pretty good burn. That was solid. She nailed me. Forgive if boundary overstepped. Have been informed mildly contentious banter cornerstone of squad camaraderie over. Yeah, it's fine. Anyway, how am I supposed to solve this thing? This is clearly a puzzle thing that cries out to be solved. Use marbles over. I'm thinking as hard as I can. You know I like puzzles. I wouldn't be asking if it weren't an emergency. Actual marbles over. What are you talking about? Trivial really over. What marbles? I don't have any marbles. You don't? None nearby? Over? No! Oops. Over. You are now Jude Harley. And though tonight is apparently the night you've been preparing for, lain so many preparations and countermeasures against, it would seem you have made a rare tactical blunder. The marbles that Joey needs to disengage her strategic defense globe are here, in your treehouse. Time to call in the lone gunbirds. And before I call in the lone gunbirds, I'm gonna call this a night, and because we're nearing 5 hours now. And I'm gonna start again tomorrow morning. I think I'm gonna start around 10 or so, if nothing else comes up. See if I can get a different time slot going where people can watch at work or in the different time zones I talk to. Either way, thank you for coming to the stream, and thank you so much for the follows, Nezred, TC Starwind, and TigerGirl64. Wow! You got me over 50 followers. I might become an affiliate soon. All I need is more than 3 average viewers. Thank you so much. And I hope you have a wonderful night. I don't know if there's anyone to raid, but I'll check it out. Let's see what happens. Oop, first I should save. That would be smart.